Have an issue with him transferring his probation there?
Have no objection at all, Mr. Marshall. You transferring your supervision to there, to that county. Just make sure that you talk to probation before you leave. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
Judge. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you as well.
Thank you.
Judge, may I approach this court, please?
Yes, sir. Also, to the attorneys, Mr. Patel asked me to remind everyone that they're taking the composite pictures this week, and so you'll need to sign up for that, I guess, downstairs. Thank you, sir. Or just appear. I think I don't even know if they have a sign-up sheet. Thank you. I think this is Gene.
May we approach?
Yes, sir. Mr. Mitchell?
Your Honor, let's leave this set for docket day, clear, continue, and we can address it further at that point, either with documentation related to Mr. Schnurr's absence, or I may ask the court for a habeas at that point.
Have we confirmed that there is another warrant for his arrest?
Is a warrant for Mr. Schnur?
No.
It's in the pipeline, is my understanding. So
Is it an Okloosa County case, or do you know?
I believe so, yes.
All right, I look forward to seeing you.
Yes, sir. So that date is March 20th, correct? Docket day, March 20th?
Yes, Judge.
9 o'clock. See you later. Thank you. Get that off. Okay. Mr. Garrett?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
Your Honor, there are waivers on file for my clients today. The first one I have is Chris Garrett on behalf of Joseph Dukes, 21 CF 1593. Your Honor, we're going to go ahead and set that motion to dismiss. I filed for a hearing. We are asking for a continuance today, but I anticipate getting the case resolved next cycle, assuming we can have the hearing.
Okay, Mr. Garrett, I'm sorry, the name of your client is who?
Joseph Dukes, D-U-K-E-S.
Yes, sir.
And so, Your Honor, at this point, we'd request a continuance.
Okay, have you already set the motion?
No, Your Honor, I've already filed it. We will set it as soon as I get out of court today.
Madam Clerk, do you want to give a date for miscellaneous?
I would request, the state would request April to give the best time to prepare.
Okay, so April 10th is booked, so we're April 13th. April 13th at 2:30.
2:30.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Your Honor. Then Chris Garrett on behalf of Bridget Mazui, I'm probably butchering the name, 22 CF 3103. I believe it's a first time out for this client. We request a continuance to the next cycle's pretrial.
To the state,
No objection, Your Honor.
it's continued.
Your Honor, what was that court date?
It is May 8th. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Then Chris Garrett on behalf of Shyler Potter, 22 CF 2292. Your Honor, we filed a plea and sentencing agreement in this case. The charges were amended to misdemeanors. It is still on the docket. I'm not sure why. And I spoke with Mr. Gomez about this, and he's not sure why it's on the docket either.
Okay. And I already signed that order?
I believe so, Your Honor.
I know that I signed some the last week. That's not important. We have a plea and sentencing agreement. Okay, February 10th. So, we're closed now? Good, thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. And then Chris Garrett on behalf of Eduardo Rosales Aya, 22 CF 2490. Your Honor, we did a deposition of the alleged victim on February 27th. What came out of that deposition is we're going to have to do another deposition of the alleged victim's roommate. We're requesting a continuance to schedule that deposition. I don't believe the state has any objection.
Okay. That case 22 CF 2490 is continued.
Thank you. And then Chris Garrett on behalf of Joseph Sikorsky, 22 CF 2319. We are scheduling a deposition with the alleged victim in this case, requesting a continuance to the May 8th pretrial. I don't believe the state has any objection.
Okay, it's continued.
Chris Garrett on behalf of Colin Weaver Johnson, 22 CF 2537. Your Honor, the state and I are still discussing this case. If we could have a continuance to May 8th, I anticipate getting the case resolved probably this cycle. The current offer is a PTI, Your Honor.
Okay, and if it's not resolved, then you're going to start discovery?
Your Honor, we're in the process of receiving discovery. We are still missing a number of the videos. But
Yes, sir, it's continued.
Thank you, Your Honor. Then finally, Chris Garrett on behalf of John Welchel, 22 CF 2633. Your Honor, we're missing a video from the arresting officer of the initial investigation. We're requesting a continuance to May 8th to receive that video, and I don't believe the state has any objection.
Okay, it's continued, yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe that's all I have.
Thanks, Mr.
Have a
Gray.
good day, Your Honor.
You
Thank you.
too. Mr. Brad Johnson. Hello, Mr. Johnson.
Good morning, Your
Morning,
Honor. Brad
sir.
Johnson here on behalf of Brian Howard. Your Honor, case number 22 CF 2185. We were waiting on some, well, the state was waiting on getting some evidence from FDLE. They got it. It was rather voluminous. We received it last week, so we're asking for a chance to, we're going to have to schedule depositions in this matter, so we're just asking to pass it out.
Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor, I talked to Ms. Adler, and Michelle Adler, she has no objection. So.
Okay. Yes, sir, it's continuing one cycle. So until May 8th.
May 8th. Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my visit to the court. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Have a great week.
Thank you, Judge. You too.
Thank you. Mr. Stewart.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
May I please report, Brett Stewart, President Judge. The first client I have on the court's docket is Akeem Balagon, Judge. This is 22 CF 2817. We're in the process of setting up depositions. This has two co-defendants, a case that has two co-defendants, I should say. I believe we are working with the other attorneys to set those up, Judge.
So you're seeking a continuance?
Yes, Your Honor, we need to continue this to the next cycle to perfect those depositions.
And to the state, if you ever have an objection, let me know. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. It's continued one cycle.
Your Honor, my next client is Jinwei Lee. We have waivers on the file, Judge. We are, again, in the process of setting up depositions in this case, Judge. We do need to continue this. It's the first time around.
Yes, sir. It's continued one cycle.
Your Honor, my final client on the court's docket is Mr. Jacob Parker. We just completed the final depositions last week. We have sent those transcripts off. We do anticipate motion practice in this regard. I do need to continue this one more cycle, Judge, so we can perfect that.
And this is one that's under the 1,500 cutoff that I arbitrarily set. Why aren't we just going to trial with this? Why
We
can't
have a stand your ground motion, Judge, so we are going to file that. I do need the transcripts back in order to perfect that motion. We have sent those off on Friday. I will represent that to the court.
So stand your ground is the unique characteristic about this case.
That is correct, Judge.
To the state,
We would have no objection. We agree with you.
it's continued one more time, but it'll be trial next time.
Very good. Your Honor, that's all I have before the court may be excused.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Can I approach just real quick?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The first matter I have is Brandon Lemieux. Judge, we previously had a hearing on transferring the division in this case, and I'm not sure if that's been handled or not.
Okay, if it's still on my docket, I guess. Oh, okay, on Mr. Longman. Is there any transfer? Is this case or the other case death penalty?
No. Your Honor, to be clear, there was a motion that was heard approximately a month ago by Your Honor. I unfortunately could not be here. Mr. Gomez covered that hearing for me. It was my understanding that the court indicated that it would take the order to be issued related to that motion to transfer under advisement.
Okay.
Judge, we were objecting to it, but that's just kind of been in limbo.
So I need to do my homework. I'm sorry, I didn't know the ball was in my court. I will look at that during the lunch break.
Just for status, Judge, do you want to leave it on docket day?
Yes, sir, let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll rule on that and let you know my ruling. I'll make my decision at lunchtime today. My JA will be back tomorrow, so if you don't get it from me today, you'll get it from her tomorrow, okay?
Very good, Judge. Thank you.
So docket day is March 20th.
The next matter I have is Joshua Little. And Judge, we're close to getting this worked out. I'd like to put it on docket day for a possible resolution. Please continue.
Yes, sir. We continue or plea trial?
Please continue.
Okay. Yes, sir.
The next matter I have is Bryce Wessels. Judge, he is an inmate.
Okay. The inmates and the deputies, I think we're going to tell the gallery that, okay, that all the inmates appear via Zoom at 1:30. So if you're here seeing an inmate, they'll be here at 1:30 via Zoom.
Could we address them prior to 1:30? I was just asking to put him on docket day as well.
Okay, for plea continue? Or
Plea continue.
Okay, yes, sir. So we don't need Wessel?
Correct.
If you'll let the jail know that. Okay.
We'll do, Judge. I'll let them know.
Okay.
And the last one, Judge, it's Gi Chao Gong, G-O-N-G, and asking for a continuance.
Okay, what are you going to do in the next couple of months?
There's quite a bit of discovery, and we've got to set depositions.
Okay.
And I believe this is its first time up, but we are still completing discovery.
Okay, yes, sir, it's continued.
Thank you, Judge. And that's all I have this morning.
Thanks, Mr. Bell.
Good to see you, Judge. Have a good
See you.
day.
Thank you, you too. Ms. Abdullah. See Ms. Abdullah?
Judge, I believe she stepped out to talk to her client.
Okay. Mr. Gosler. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I have one client, Misty Woodward. It's first time up. I'm asking for a continuance. The state has no objection.
22 CF 3126.
That's correct.
Mr. Gosler, it's continued in one site.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good to see
Good to see you.
Mr. Holtz? Or, I'm sorry, Mr. Potts.
Judge, I think my handwriting is probably not very good.
It looked like an H,
Judge.
yes, sir.
Chris Klotz, I'm here for Jonathan Lambert, 22 CF 1046. Your Honor, we have a standard ground hearing set before you on Thursday.
Okay.
And I imagine that when we get through that, we'll probably have some direction on where we're going.
Okay, so let's set it for plea continue, just where it doesn't fall off the radar, and I'll see
Yes,
you
sir.
on Thursday.
Yes, sir. And what's the plea continue date?
Well, it's not continued. You're on for docket day, which is March 20th.
Got it. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good day.
You too. Ms. Merrifield. Good morning, ma'am.
The first matter I have is Charles Lawrence in 22 CF 391. And Judge, in this particular case, we had a written plea in absentia to misdemeanors. I believe it got stuck in the portal. I have not seen it signed, but I do have a copy along with the signature page, if I may approach.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And I know that I signed some last week.
Yes, Your Honor. I didn't see that as being one of them.
I'm just going to handwrite at the bottom of that done in order because it doesn't really tie in the sheet that you're asking me to sign with it.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
It's got a case number.
That's how I typically send it through the e-portal. Sometimes it makes it to you and sometimes it doesn't.
It wouldn't surprise me if you don't end up with two. Yes, sir.
The next case is Toriano Marsh in 22 CF 2119. There is a waiver of appearance on file. We're still negotiating this case, Judge. We'd ask to continue this to the 5/8 pretrial as a last continuance. It's Marsh.
I don't see it in the top. Oh. Okay. And I'm sorry, the case number is what?
22 CF 2119.
Okay, so it is continued trial next time, right?
Thank you, Judge. 5/8.
Yes, ma'am.
The next case is Esteban Perez in 22 CF 2284. The state filed a dismissal on that case last week. I didn't see it on the docket this morning.
Ms. Merrifield, are you on the docket under somebody else's name?
It may be under my partner, maybe under Mr. Flaherty.
Yes, ma'am.
And that was Perez.
Are you handling all of his cases?
I am, Judge.
Okay, and I'm sorry, after March was who?
It was Esteban Perez
Yes, ma'am.
in 22 CF 2284. That case was dismissed last week. I didn't see it on the docket this morning. Madam Clerk, do you see anything? Can we leave it set for docket day? It should fall off.
Let's hope so, because I had it down as trial next time, so.
Can I have the file changed?
You have the dismissal?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds.
Good. Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am.
The next case is Blake Sanford in 22 CF 3165. It's the first time up. There's a waiver on file. We are working on coordinating depositions. Like to put it on the 5/8 docket.
Yes, ma'am.
The next case is Jason Smith in 22 CF 3030. It's the first time up. There's also a waiver, and we're ready for trial on this case, Judge.
Okay, so trial, yes, ma'am, and I'll see you at docket day on March 20th.
Thank you, Judge. The next matter is Casey Walker in 23 CF 99. First time up. There is a waiver on file. This case is being transferred to the mental health court docket. We anticipate that it will resolve on 3/14 or 3/15, excuse me, Judge. If we could just set this for a control date.
Why don't we just leave it on plea continue and then March 20th it'll come.
Thank you, Judge. And the last case is Robert Wimberly in 22 CF 2955. First time up. There is a waiver on file. Judge, I need to find a miscellaneous date towards the end of March, early April. My client's out of town. We do anticipate a plea agreement in this case. Is the 4/15 date the only miscellaneous?
4/13, April 13th at 9.
Absolutely, Judge. We'd like that date.
Yes, ma'am. So we'll continue the case as far as the docket, and then you want to set it for a plea on April 13th at 9.
Yes, Your Honor. And that's all I have.
Okay, wait, hold on. I think there may be more names. That's all you've got? So it ruled on the other ones that are on the docket. Lawrence?
Lawrence was the plea agreement.
What did we do, Stout?
Mr. Stout was also a plea agreement. That was actually one that you had signed a couple days ago, Judge.
Good, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Newland?
Hey, good morning, Ron.
Good morning, sir.
The first case out is Sarah Phillips. We have a waiver from Ms. Phillips. Judge, we did a deposition last week on her case. One of the officers failed to show. We're in the process of trying to get that rescheduled. So if we could have a continuance to allow that to occur.
Hello, Ms. Phillips.
Oh,
Change
no,
one
this
second.
is Ms. Yeager.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Ms. Yeager. I'll see you in a minute, Ms. Yeager. Okay. Yes, sir. So it's continued one side.
Very good. Thank you, Judge. Next case is Madison Yeager. Ms. Yeager, if you want to come on up now. Isaac Newland for Keith Kilpatrick for Ms. Yeager. And Judge, if I could approach, can you do it, please?
Yes, sir. Thank you. CF 26. Ms. Yeager, if you'll raise your right hand, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. You can put your hand down. Ms. Yeager, did you read the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand it?
I'm sorry?
Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Allison, do you mind turning that speaker maybe that way? That one right there. Thank you. Ms. Yeager, I do accept your plea. Adjudication is withheld. You'll just need to pay the court costs. How long will you need to pay the $615 in court costs?
I'm sorry?
How long will you need to pay the $15 in court costs?
How long?
Yes, ma'am.
Couple months.
Okay, so 60 days. If you fail to pay it within 60 days, then it will go to a civil lien or judgment, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, we had one last case. It is for Mr. Kilpatrick. It's Jose Parrado. It's Jurado Cabrera. I believe Mr. Cabrera is an inmate. We just got on this case. Mr. Kilpatrick substituted in on February the 28th, and it's currently set for a bond hearing this Thursday on the 16th. So if we could request a continuance, if the court would prefer, we could put it, for the 16th for status, but we just need to have the bond hearing.
Okay, so it's already set for Thursday? Good. So we'll continue the underlying case. Well, this is Jurado.
Yes, Your Honor.
It's a 21 case. Why shouldn't it be a plea trial?
Judge, like I said, we just substituted in 2 weeks ago. I don't even think we have all the discovery. I don't know why it's such an old case. There could have been like a failure to appear issue. I saw a capias when I was perusing the file, so I don't know if there was a...
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the underlying case, let's put it down for the plea or trial, and then let's see what happens at the bond hearing, and then we'll talk about it at docket day.
Okay.
Because it is an old case, I want to know exactly what's going on with it.
Yes, sir. So we're going to set for docket day this cycle. Would that be...
Yes, sir.
What
Correct.
What day will that...
That's March 20th.
Okay.
at 9 o'clock.
Okay, very
So I'll
good.
see you Thursday on the bond hearing and March 20th on the case.
Very good. See you then.
Good.
Thank you, Judge.
sir.
Have a good day.
Sir, if you don't mind emailing from jail.
Okay.
Right, not, so your client doesn't appear via Zoom this
Got it.
afternoon. Again, for the folks on Zoom, if you're here to see an inmate, the inmates will appear at 1:30 this afternoon via Zoom.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Next is Mr. Patel. Let's see, Mr. Patel. Ms. Abdullah, you came back in, I think? Nope, and then she left. Mr. Shaw.
Good morning, Judge.
Morning, Mr.
First case I have on the docket is Haley Diane Hare. There is a motion hearing, I believe, set on that 4/11/23. Or excuse me, depot was set 4/11/23.
Okay, it's a 21 case.
Mhm.
Why shouldn't I set it for plea trial?
Judge, this is one of the cases, you may recall, we've been here for the court a couple of times with a witness who refused to testify, and we had to keep coming back to get the court's intervention.
Yes, sir.
And that has been done now. We just have the last round of depots, I hope, coming up. I anticipate a pretrial motion that's going to require a pretty extensive hearing as well.
Okay, so I'm going to put continued trial next time.
Next case, Judge, is Marcus Lee Lane, 22 CF 1994. Judge, we can leave that set without. I was awaiting setting depots until I got the video from the officer who made the actual stop. It was based on a tag light being out. I still don't have that, but I want to go ahead and try to get it resolved if we can with the portion of the video that has been provided from another officer, but it's not ready for trial without that. There's going to be a motion hearing on that too as soon as I can get that from the officer.
So you're saying plea continued?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, yes, sir.
James David Mills, Your Honor. On Mr. Mills' case, I'd like to leave that set without as well. It is, there's some new information that I need to get over to the state attorney's office with regard to this case, and it may be able to be resolved.
Okay, so plea continued?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Martha Shawn Monk, 22 CF 1932. We'd like to leave that set. Also, Judge, without subs, we anticipate it being resolved on Dr. Day.
Okay, I'm setting it for plea trial because I had said last time trial next time.
Okay, and she is, well, that's fine, Judge. Katrina Puri, Judge, 21 CF 388.
If you're on Zoom, if you'll please mute your microphones. Thank you.
21 CF 388. On Ms. Puri's case, there is a motion hearing on 4/10/23. So we'd like to continue that as cycle goes. As the court is aware, this is another one of those that we've been before the court and have had issues with deponents.
Yes, sir. Then it's continued one second.
Next is Sheena Russell, 22 CF 1743. Depots are actually set on that for June 13th. This is with Prosecutor ASA Gillespie out of Pensacola.
Yes, he has no objection.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir. It's continued.
Next case is Jutha Sukam, 22.
Hold on one second. If somebody's got their It's not a mic. The courtroom card is the only one that shows a microphone. Okay. Yes, sir.
Last name Sucom, Judge, S-U-K-O-M, 22 CF 1931. Depots are set for 6/21.
Yes, sir. It's continued.
And lastly, Judge, under my name, I have Hayden Matthew Welch, 23 CF 11. We'd ask to continue that one cycle, Judge.
Yes, sir. It's continued.
Thank you, Judge. That's all I
Thank you,
have.
Mr. Shaw. Mr. Dyer? See Mr. Dyer?
Did you call me Don?
Yes, sir.
I happen to know he's with Judge Mason, even as we speak.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Flowers. Mr. Skavatsky? There he is.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
Kim Skavatsky on behalf of Ms. Shelton, Susan Shelton, one of the older cases on the docket.
Yes, sir.
2019 CF 3175. Your Honor may recall we had originally been waiting for the completion of the Department of Health administrative hearing. The state had agreed to let that matter be resolved first. They've changed their mind, and I don't dispute their reasons for it. Perhaps the court would say the same thing. I was speaking with Ms. Davis, who took over the case in November. There's been 2 prior prosecutors before her. And I'd ask if the court would consider letting us have a special pretrial conference by Zoom with the court. I should, by the scheduling of that date, have knowledge whether or not there's another court date for the DOH. That may not make a difference in terms of trying the criminal case, but there are some circumstances regarding this case in terms of the length of trial and the coordination of witnesses that would require a little time in order to do that. Would the court permit perhaps the scheduling of a Zoom pretrial conference in the next week or so if the court has the time?
Okay, because we have a docket day March 20th, so you want to continue the underlying trial and then set it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, to the state, your furrowed brow. Do you understand what Mr. Skavatsky's trying to do?
Somewhat, Judge. The first time we had a conversation about the case was this morning, so I think that Mr. Skavatsky and I really need to iron out some information on the case, because at this point, Mr. Skavatsky is expecting this to be a multi-day trial that we're going to have extensive witnesses, so I think there's a lot of details that we need to get cleaned up.
So should I just continue it and say trial next time?
That would be my expectation, Judge.
The only thing, Your Honor, I don't know when the trial next time would take place, but I mean, what is your calendar after this trial term coming up?
For a miscellaneous date?
No, sir, for trial week after the March trial week. I know you have 2 weeks in March.
Right, May 22nd and June 5th, those 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know I have conflicts on those, Your Honor. Can I suggest that we go ahead and keep it on the docket day for March 20th? I'll have that communication with Ms. Davis. Would the court permit me to attend the docket day by Zoom?
Yes, sir. So I'll put it down for pre-continued.
Yes, Your Honor.
We'll talk about it on docket.
Appreciate it.
Good. Thank you, sir. Mr. Green? Oh, Mr. Green.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, sir.
I have one case this morning. It's Paul Charles McCarthy, 22 CF 3137.
Yes, sir.
Judge, this is his first time up. I move to continue with one cycle.
Okay. You're going to do discovery between now and then?
Yes.
Yes, sir. It's continued one second.
Date, please.
I'm sorry?
What's the date?
The date is May 8th, right, pre-trial.
Perfect, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Simon? See Mrs. Simon? Mr. Flowers? Oh, there you go. Hey, Ms. Simon.
Sorry. Good morning.
Good morning.
I have 2 cases on the docket. The first is Hunter McCall.
Hunter McCall.
I believe he's present in here. He
Yes,
might be
come on
able
up, Mr. McCall.
And this is 2022 CF 2458.
Your Honor, at this time, the state wants to make an announcement. We're going to be issuing a no cost. We never filed information on this case. We were working with some of the similar or companion misdemeanor case. It did get resolved at that level with the victim, and so the victim doesn't want to move forward with this felony. And so at that time, we had never filed information, so we're announcing a no cost on this one.
Okay. Mr. Simon, that's certainly worth stepping up to the lectern for. Your case is dismissed. Thank you, sir.
And the second
Ms. Simon, whose name are your cases under?
I'm not sure. Probably Aaron Wentz.
Okay.
I thought the next one is under mine, but nope, the next one's going to be under Aaron as well. The next one is William Watson, 2022 CF 1064. And I am not sure if he is present. I called out his name. There is a waiver on file, but this is also set for our motion for leave to withdraw, which we did provide him notice of.
And that was for today?
That was set for today as well.
Okay. And since I just have it down as pretrial conference, I haven't done that homework. What was your motion? What was the conflict?
Going to comply with the terms of the contract.
Okay. Okay, and you provided him notice for today?
I did, and I specifically advised him, even though there was a waiver on file, I don't know what his intention was, whether it was to enter a plea or continuance or to set it for trial, and that the motion to withdraw would be heard today.
Okay. Your motion to withdraw is granted, and I'm setting the case for a plea continue. So if you'll make sure that your client gets that notice, okay?
I will do it. And that's set for March 20th, right?
Yes, ma'am. Correct, at 9 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you'll file something with the clerk that shows that you sent notice of that to the clerk.
I can file a certificate of service before I submit the order on withdrawal.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. And that's all I have this morning. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Mr. Flowers.
Good morning, Ron.
Good morning, sir.
My first madam is Adam McCraney. Your Honor, I'm asking that this be continued for this reason. He has another case that is not on this docket, a subsequent case. We're suggesting if this were to be continued, that perhaps they could run together. But in any event, I don't believe there's an objection to that, but that's what we're asking this morning, sir.
Okay, but on that case, a couple months ago, we said trial.
Yes, I agree. And again, he got arrested. I mean, I understand the court's position,
Yes,
but something new happened. That's my reason.
Well, a new case happened, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. To the state, do you want to try Mr. McCraney's case?
We would have no objection to a continued trial.
Okay. I understand trying to roll them together for a plea, but as far as this case, why not try it? Why not try it?
We can if
There's
you want
nothing
to,
else
Your
to do
Honor.
on this trial. Okay, so I'm setting it for trial.
The next matter, Your Honor, is Michael McGahee Mulholland. We're asking to continue that matter for this reason. We had told the court we were seeking to set depositions, which we are, and have tried to coordinate them with the state. The witnesses, when we tried to serve them, aren't at the address. The state's seeking to find a new address. It's not their fault either, but that's where we are, Your Honor, which would leave us in the untenable position if we were being going to trial and then they were located. We haven't been able to take the deposition. In addition, there's a video that I'm not sure the state has had an opportunity, although they have it, which I think will dispose of this matter, coupled with the testimony that we believe we need to take at deposition. That's the reason for our motion, Your Honor.
To the state, what is the status of finding the witnesses, locating them?
Your Honor, I don't think we have not gotten the updated address. I think we have an investigative request for it.
They're working on it, Your Honor. I know that they are.
Okay, what I'm going to put down, and again, it will be subject, like now, subject to what I hear next time, but I'm going to put it down for a plea trial next time.
I understand, Judge. The final matter under my name is Burley White. We're asking that this be placed on 4/13, which I understand is a miscellaneous docket for disposition that date.
Okay, so I'm setting it like we stated last time, plea trial, and then you want it for...
It's my understanding you have a miscellaneous docket on the 13th. I would like, Mr. White is here today, Your Honor. That's not the problem.
I understand.
I believe
Yes,
that I'm
that's
quite
fine. So
confident.
you want to set it for a plea on March 13th?
Yes, sir.
Okay, at 9?
Well, no, it's actually April 13th.
So
Isn't that-
then you're not trying it on this cycle, so you're asking for a continuance?
Yes, I didn't state that appropriately, I suppose. Well, that was my
What
intention.
case is this? I'm sorry.
Burley White.
Like 22 CF 1779?
That's right.
Last time we said plea or trial, I'm not real gung-ho about continuance, and that's what
I
you're
understand.
asking. So, trial.
Your Honor, the next matter is actually under Ricky Dyram's name, and the defendant is Nick Amito. However, our office filed a notice of appearance. He's here. We filed a notice of appearance this morning on the case, which it might not have made it to the court file, but it has been filed electronically this morning. We've been retained yesterday as co-counsel with Mr. Dyram, not a substitution, but co-counsel. Mr. Dyram, I'm sorry, Judge. Mr. Dyram had spoken to the state about our request to continue the matter, and the state has no objection, is my understanding.
Yes, Judge.
And that's correct, Your Honor. I spoke with Mr. Flowers last week.
Yes. I'm sorry?
Who's the defendant?
Nick Amito, Nico, Meto. First name David.
Okay, last time we said trial, this time, but to the state, because you got co-counsel, you're willing to continue it?
Yes, Your Honor, I am. I believe they wanted to come in and speak with me, so.
Okay, so it's continued trial next time. Thank you, Your Honor.
The final matter, sir. Attorney Jeff Toney had contacted me with respect to his client, Santa Maria, informed me that depositions have been coordinated for April 18th in this matter,
That's correct, Your Honor.
and was asked me to ask the court, given that they had been set on that date, to continue the trial date.
Okay, it's continued one cycle.
And Your Honor, that's all I have. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Mr. Flowers.
Mr. Flowers, can you email the jail about the training?
I'll be pleased to do that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Darden?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
First case I have is Gregory Mollenhauer. There's a waiver on file, 22 CF 3025. If we can leave him on plea or continue for docket day. The state has some discovery that they need to send me.
Is that Mollenhauer?
Correct, Your Honor.
So, plea continue, plea trial?
Plea or continue for docket day. I believe it'll be resolved.
Okay.
Your Honor, the next case is Kimberly Roy, 22 CF 2543. There's a waiver on file. I was just retained in that case. The state has made an offer. We can leave her on plea or continue for docket day as well, and may be resolved. Next case, Your Honor, is William Thornton, 21 CF 1471. May the state and I approach on that one, Your Honor?
Yes, sir. To the state.
At Powell, Powell & Powell, we are a family of lawyers working together as a team for our clients. For more information, visit us online today at www.powelllawfirm.com.
This is Tiffany.
Judge, I was just retained on her case. If we can continue her case one cycle, I believe the state has made an offer for a PTI. I just need to review that with her.
Yes, sir.
And then the last case I have is Mark Whitley. He's an inmate, Judge. He also has a violation of probation that is set for the 16th on Thursday. I thought this case was going to track with that, but I believe we have a plea agreement. This is Mr. Thornton, Judge. Okay. Mr. Whitley is in jail, Judge. So if we can just leave him set for the 16th, I believe he will be transported on that day, and we will have a plea.
Okay. So for the underlying case, we'll just do plea continue, and then I'll see you on the 16th. You've already got that set, correct?
Correct.
You let the jail know that they don't have to bring him up for Zoom?
I will, Your Honor.
Good.
And that's all I have. Thank you, Judge.
Thanks, Mr. Dart.
Have a good day.
You too, thank you. Mr. Patel, you came back in?
Thank you, Judge. Sorry, I was down
Spinning
making sure that
plates.
our photos were getting logged and tagged correctly,
Okay.
so it doesn't become a mess by Friday. The first one I have, Jay Patel on behalf of Rodrigo Aravello, 21 CF 1538. There's a waiver on file. Judge, we're at the point now where almost everything is done. In speaking with the state, we'd like to set this for docket day, plea or continue, and if we can't get it resolved, it's going to be a trial next cycle.
Okay. Yes, sir. You got
Is docket day, do you have that date offhand?
It's the 20th, March 20th.
320. Okay. Next, Jay Patel and Tim Shaw on behalf of Donald Coraggio, Coraggio, 21 CF 2651. There's a waiver on file. Judge, we're with Mr. Coraggio's case. I know it's aging, but the biggest issue is him completing his treatment and us getting a report from Dr. McDonald before we probably going to head towards sentencing. And so we need to get that report. I believe that the treatment's complete, and Dr. McDonald is supposed to get that report to us as soon as she can. So I'd ask to continue one time.
Okay. Last time I had stated trial this cycle. So to the state.
Your Honor, given that they're waiting on a mitigation evaluation, I know Dr. McDonald is backed up right now, so we would have no objection to a continuance.
Okay. Continue, or should we do plea continue? Any possibility of having that report by the 20th?
I don't think so, Judge, because we inquired late last week, and she said that she's backed up.
Okay. So it's continued trial next time. Yes, sir.
Next, Jay Patel and Tim Shaw on behalf of Jose Maldonado, 21 CF 459. Judge, we'd asked for a continuance. We received some information from the state, kind of a specific discovery request. This is sort of a complicated CP matter. I've sent that information over to our expert. I'm supposed to be having a conversation with the expert on kind of where we go from here. I think that we're very close to it being a resolution of the trial, probably next cycle.
Okay, so continued trial next time.
Next, Jay Patel on behalf of Sean McGonigal, 22 CF 1675. I'd ask that case be continued. Frankly, Judge, I'm getting mixed signals on where this alleged victim is, and so I'm due to have a conversation with Mr. Gomez, I think later this week. As soon as we can, so long as the state and I are on the same page, then I can get him deposed.
And that was the problem a couple months ago.
Yes, I know, and I don't know whether he's in Fort Walton Beach or in Texas, and I keep getting different discovery exhibits with different addresses.
Okay, I'm going to set it for a plea continue. I want to know what the status of the state disclosing that address will be. So I'll see you on the 20th on that.
Thank you, Judge. Next, Jay Patel and Tim Shaw on behalf of Brock Sutton, 22 CF 970. We have requested deposition dates back in January and again, and then on March the 7th, we sent the state 6 potential dates, and in May and June. it appears the state wasn't available for any of those dates, and they're supposed to get me dates back when they are available.
Okay, and that's one that is less than, the case number is less than 1,500. So why shouldn't I set it for trial and get y'all to get your depositions done where we can go to trial?
It's a PBL, Judge. It's a kidnapping and a burglary of an occupied dwelling.
Allegedly.
Okay, I'm going to put it down for continued trial next time, so y'all need to get your depositions.
And I'm okay with the court stating that we want deposition dates by the 20th. I'd like to get these depositions done as well.
So you want to set it for a plea continue where on the 20th we come back? I'll tell me when you've got the depositions.
I'm fine with that.
My assistant was just out on Thursday and Friday, Judge. So I think he mentioned that the 7th was the last communication, and so then my assistant was out. So it's not that there was an unreasonable delay, Judge.
I say in any effort, let's just set it for the 20th to make sure the depots are inked.
So plea continue.
Next, Judge Jay Patel on behalf of Elijah Sutton, 22 CF 926. Judge, we've completed the depots. This is one where, well, can we approach?
Yes, sir.
In Crestview. I'd like to personally invite you to stop by my office on North Verdon Boulevard for a no-cost policy review. Let me help you start saving today. Call in, walk in, or click in at yourcrestviewagent.com.
Check out the soaps, bath bombs, and other bath and body products, all made by hand with natural ingredients at Hub City Soapery. Visit us at 1092 North Verdon Boulevard in Crestview or shop online at hubcitysoapery.com. Hub City Soapery.
You need one site.
And then finally, Judge Jay Patel on behalf of Benjamin Tran, 20 CF 2456. Judge, I think as recently as 10 days ago, I spoke to Ms. Sandler, and Ms. Sandler thinks she can pull a rabbit out of her hat and get my client available via Zoom, so I can discuss this plea offer and with the potential of him being able to take a plea via Zoom. So I'd ask to continue the case, and I'll continue exploration down that avenue.
Well, should we set it for plea continue and you can try it on the 20th?
I don't know that we're going to get it. We're going to get that far that quickly. Again, it's extremely
federal custody.
No, he's in Mississippi, which is worse because they're not a party to the interstate compact.
Okay, he's incarcerated in Mississippi.
Correct.
Yes, ma'am.
I think that with the age of the case, we need to set it for the 20th to see if we can have a date for a court appearance for Mr. Tran to discuss whether or not he wants to accept that plea, so we can move forward with other things.
It's a 2020 case.
Yes, Judge.
Right.
I just don't want to put any pressure on Ms. Sandler. She's here so she can.
Ms. Sandler?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here. I will endeavor to work with Mississippi. They've actually told me that they can set everything up, and I will work with them to get that set up. I won't be here on the 20th, but I'm sure Ms. Davis can handle it. But if we can get that set up by the 20th, would that be amenable to everybody?
So I'm going to say plea continue and trial next time, but I'll see you on the 20th.
Judge, I can tell you right now, if they cannot get my client here physically, we can't have a trial.
Understand. Okay. I'll just say plea continue.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
I have nothing further, maybe excuse. Oh, I need to cover for Mr. Dees.
Okay.
He has one case. Cecil Yeomans, 23 CF 43. He'd asked for a continuance. I believe there's still some outstanding matters that he needs to take care of with the state.
And that case is older than 22 CF 12 to 18 to the state? What's going on with discovery?
23 case.
Yeomans?
It's a 23 case? Okay,
Yeah, we just filed on the case on February 10th.
Okay, I'm looking at Dewberry. So you said that Dewey's only had one case, but he's got more than one case. So I guess that's what happened.
He does have more than one case.
He's got Dewberry, and that was the first one. Then he's got Pride, and then Yeomans. So I just started with the first one,
Okay.
thinking that was his only case. So back to Yeomans. So,
Judge, on the updated docket, I don't see either of those other two cases on there. On the latest docket, it looks like it's just Cecil Yeomans.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe Mr. Dees filed motions to continue as well in advance of today's court.
Okay, great, good, thank you.
That's good, because he was going to owe me something.
So Yeomans is continued.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Thanks, Mr.
I have nothing further, maybe excuse.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Mr. Patel. There's an interpreter, I believe, a Portuguese interpreter that's online.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. What case are you on?
It's for 4619 CF 3413.
Who's the defendant?
Vinicius Cassiano de Souza.
De Souza. Okay. Who's the defense attorney for Ms. De Souza? Nobody's raising their hand.
I'm also the current partner in the case.
Oh, good. Mr. Hughes?
That is an inmate, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. So, Madam Interpreter, and I'm sorry they didn't get you the word, but all the inmates, since we have 400 people on the docket, we have live folks this morning, and the inmates start at 1:30 this afternoon. And they'll be via Zoom, okay?
Okay, the interpreter will check with the office, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. Thank you, ma'am.
No problem, thank you.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
I'm the interpreter for the case 22 CF 3196. The name of the defendant is Gongqi Chow.
Okay. Mr. Chow?
Yes.
So who?
Also, Jim Miley.
Good, Mr. Hughes. I'm glad. Whenever you're in my court, please do just pipe up and tell me that you're an interpreter, and we'll try to take your case. Mr. McKinney, that's not yours?
No, sir.
Okay.
Your Honor, one of those cases is Mr. Stewart's. One of those cases, I believe, Gong Kui Chow is Mr. Powell's. Both of those cases were continued. They're very new cases. We have to get a lot of depositions done, and they were
Okay, so
continued
both of those cases were continued.
to May 8th of 2023.
Okay. Mr. Hughes, it appears they were continued until May 8th at 9 o'clock. If either one of those defendants is an inmate, then it will be in the afternoon at 1:30. If they're not in custody, then it'll be at 9 o'clock.
They're not in custody, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm sorry, Mr. Hughes. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Mr. Stevens? Morning, sir.
First case I have on the docket is Rodriguez Brinson, 22 CF 2137. Mr. Brinson may be outside. I do know he is here this morning. It's a new case to me. I was just appointed a couple weeks ago. I'm going to ask to continue this case to receive and review discovery.
Okay. And you saw Mr. Brinson here today?
Yes, sir. He is outside.
It's continued 1 second.
The next out of custody I have is Mac Edwards. He is also here, but he's probably outside.
Mr. Edwards, Mac Edwards? What are you seeking to do with that?
He's here. He's going to be up here.
Mac Edwards.
Here he is, Judge. In Mr. Edwards' case, in 22 CF 1826, he is going to withdraw his previously entered plea of not guilty. Tender plea of no contest as follows. Count 1 will be the lesser included offense of misdemeanor petty theft. He will be adjudicated guilty. 270 in court costs. There's a legal assistance fee. 11 months, 29 days of probation supervised by JCS. Complete the shoplifter's awareness course. no trespassing at all Alto locations, reserve of a restitution for 180 days. Count 2 will be an adjudication of guilt, 11 months, 29 days of concurrent probation. If I can approach.
Yes, sir. Mr. Edwards, if you'll raise your right hand, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. Mr. Edwards, did you read the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Did you discuss it with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
Did he answer all of your questions?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Edwards, I do accept your plea. You're adjudicated guilty. You're sentenced to 11 months, 29 days probation. That'll be supervised by JCS. That's to run concurrently, run at the same time in both of your cases, both of the counts. All monetary assessments mandated by statute or county ordinance are imposed. That's the court cost. You'll need to pay the $150 public assistance fee and the JCS fee. The court does award restitution, but reserves jurisdiction to determine the amount of the restitution if the state files a petition or a motion within 180 days from today. You will need to enter and successfully complete the shoplifters awareness course, and there's no trespassing at any Alta location. Thank you, sir.
The next out of custody I have is Dexia Lane, 22 CF 110. We did depots on this case on March the 7th. 2 of the 3 officers showed up. The case officer did not show up a second time. My understanding was that he is on military orders. So we're going to ask to continue the case to reset his depot. It's the last one that we need.
Any objection from the state?
No, Judge.
It's continued one second.
Mr. Lane.
Oh, there you go. All right. Oh, Mr. Lane. Mr. Lane, I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Next case I have is Marquette Lewis, 22 CF 2641. He is a juvenile case. There are multiple co-defendants.
Mr. Lewis is
President approaching. There are multiple co-defendants, multiple witnesses in this case. It will take some time to set depots in this case and get those done and coordinate between 2 or 3 offices. I will ask to continue this case so we can get those depots set.
Okay. Mr. Lewis, do you agree to the continuance?
Yes, sir.
I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Next case is Richard Middleton, 22 CF 1409. Mr. Middleton also is present.
Mr. Middleton, Richard William Middleton.
I'm just going to ask him to set the docket day, Judge. It's a PTI agreement, which I handed him this morning. I've instructed him to go to probation today, get it signed in. We received the PTI this morning. So we'll leave it set for docket day. Once that's signed, he'll fall off the docket.
Okay, and if he doesn't do it, then I'm setting it for trial, so I've got a plea trial.
That's fine.
Okay.
Roy Pate, 22 CF 3183. This is also a new case to me, first time up.
You, Mr. Middleton?
Pate.
Mr. Pate, come on up, Mr. Pate.
He has been in a Bay County facility up until I think a couple weeks ago, so we need to meet and go over discovery. I will ask, though, if we can leave this case set for docket day. I spoke with Mr. Gomez earlier last week. This case originates from the 2020 arrest where he did 5 years state prison. This case should have been handled back in 2020. We had preliminary discussion about a credit for time served offer. Mr. Gomez just needs a couple more days, I think, to make sure that that's okay.
Yeah, it's actually to double check with any victims or anything like that to make sure that there's nothing that's owed to anybody before we agree to that, just because.
So we continue, and I'll see you on the 20th. See you next week on the 20th at 9 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Next case is Crystal Perez, 22 CF 2285. Ms. Perez is also present. This is the first time up for me since I was appointed.
Ms. Perez.
It is a financial crime. So I'm going to ask continue to go through discovery. It's going to take some time.
Ms. Perez, do you understand what Mr. Stevens is doing in your case?
Not yet. We haven't had a chance to even speak, but yes, sir.
Okay. You agree to the continuance?
Yes, sir.
I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Tommy Ross, 22 CF 1386. And I've had no communication with Miss Ross. I tried to call her last week, and her phone is no longer in service.
What is the state seat?
Capious, Judge.
Capious will be issued for Ms. Ross. The first appearance judge will determine the bond, so they'll arrest Ms. Ross and bring her before the court. We appreciate y'all being here. Mr. Stevens.
Susan Staubitz, 21 CF 2716 and 22 CF 2297. I received notice last week. I guess there was a third amended violation of probation. I'm going to ask to leave this set for docket day so I can talk to probation and the state. Ms. Staubitz, since the last court date, has completed all requirements of her probation to include paying off monetary fines, community service work, etc. So she's been working diligently. I'm just going to ask if we can leave it set for docket day so I can have those discussions with the state and with probation.
Okay, and I looked at the case number, it was 20, well, the older one was 21, but I understand, so plea continue?
Yes.
Judge, to be clear, based on the status at this point of Ms. Staubitz just testing positive and admitting, excuse me, the test came back positive for 4 substances. She admitted to the use of 2 of those substances. Based on that, the state will be filing a motion to revoke her bond to be heard, I guess, on that 20th date.
Okay. Ms. Staubitz, I'll see you back here next week on March 20th at 9 o'clock. Okay? Thank you, ma'am.
And the last out of custody I have is Irvin Willis, 22 CF 1973. Mr. Willis is also present and approaching. He is going to withdraw his previously entered plea of not guilty, enter a plea of no contest as follows. It's a 1-count information. He will plea as charged. Adjudication is withheld. 515 in court costs, 2 years of probation, legal assistance fee, no trespassing at all Home Depot locations. We stipulate to $16,337.86 in restitution to Home Depot, which is joint and severally liable with all co-defendants. Probation can early term after 1 year if all conditions of probation, including restitution, have been satisfied. If I can approach.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Mr. Willis, if you'll raise your right hand, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. Mr. Willis, did you read the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Did you discuss it with your attorney?
I did.
Did he answer all of your questions?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign the plea?
I did.
Mr. Willis, I do accept your plea. Adjudication is withheld. You're sentenced to 2 years probation. However, your supervision will automatically terminate at the 1 year mark. If you've successfully completed all the terms of your supervision at that time, haven't committed any new law violations. You'll need to pay the court cost, the $150 public assistance fee, the $40 per month cost of supervision, have no trespassing at any Home Depot store. You'll need to pay the restitution in the amount of $16,337.86 to Home Depot. Did I miss anything from Mr. Woods?
We would ask the court, based on the large amount of restitution to pay in 2 years, if the court would be willing to waive the cost of supervision so we can get that paid off.
Mr. Willis, how much money do you make per month?
About $300-400.
I do waive the cost of supervision, Mr. Willis. Mr. Willis, I may have a warrant for you. Allison?
I have a BOP warrant.
Does that arise from this case? Okay, show Mr. Steve.
He's not on probation.
She made a scene in the courtroom.
Probation.
Everybody else have an image, Judge.
Mr. McCaviges?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
Hi there. So I have, first case that I have is State of Florida versus Jamie Medina Fernandez. We have this case almost fully worked out, Your Honor. My client needed to meet with an immigration attorney, and she did so. We have one minor detail left that I need to speak with the Immigration Counsel about. We should be able to have everything wrapped up by next Monday. I was wondering if we might be able to approach and get the court's opinion on this little hiccup that I have.
Okay, certainly.
Thank you.
For the state. Who's your attorney?
Thank you.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
The National Trial Lawyers Top 100 is an organization celebrating premier trial lawyers from across the country who meet stringent qualifications as civil and/or criminal defense lawyers.
At Powell, Powell & Powell, we are a family of lawyers working together as a team for our clients. For more information, visit us online today at www.powelllawfirm.com.
This is Tiffany Woodham, State Farm's newest agent in Crestview. I'd like to personally invite you to stop by my office on North Verdon Boulevard for a no-cost policy review. Let me help you start saving today. Call in, walk in, or click in at yourcrestview.agent.com.
Check out the soaps, bath bombs, and other bath and body products, all made by hand with natural ingredients at Hub City Soapery. Visit us at 1092 North Verdon Boulevard in Crestview or shop online at hubcitysoapery.com. Hub City Soapery.
Plea continue, because she's going to be here next week.
Yes, Your Honor.
So plea continue.
Thank you. And do you need to handle another matter or else I'll step away? Did I understand
Another
that?
case? Okay, yes, sir. Why don't we continue your next one just for a minute and see you back.
Correct, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Allison, what's your name?
Ms. Moore?
Miss Moore.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm actually okay, thank you.
Your Honor, this is Ms. Moore. She has two cases, 22 CF 2703 and 22 CF 2686. At this time, Ms. Moore would withdraw her previously entered not guilty plea. In case 22 CF 2703, on count 1, Ms. Moore is going to plead to the lesser included offense of burglary of an unoccupied structure, and she'll plead as charged on count 2 in that case. In 22 CF 2686, she will plead as charged to both counts in that case. There are, in each case, there's a misdemeanor and a felony. Count 1 and count in the 2703 is a felony, and count 2 in the 2686 is a felony. The sentence will be 3 years of probation for those two counts, concurrent to each other. In the 2703 case, she will pay $800 in restitution to Dunkin' Donuts. In the 2686 case, she's going to pay $200 restitution to Fisher & Fisher Professional Association. She's going to perform 24 hours of community service. She'll be sentenced to time served on the misdemeanor counts. That's count 2 in 2703 and count 1 in 2686. Importantly, probation will terminate automatically at a 12-month period if there are no violations of probation and she has satisfied all conditions. She'll be assessed court costs of $615 and $150 public defender fee in 2703, $100 public defender fee in 2686, and there would be an adjudication.
Thank you.
May I approach?
Yes, sir. Ms. Moore, if you'll raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay, put your hand down. Ms. Moore, did you walk here?
Yep.
Were you walking down Beale Street by chance?
No.
Okay. When you were close to Lenny's, or there's a parking lot over there, you didn't attempt to throw yourself in front of a car and then flick them off when they went by, did you?
Never. That's what it must appear like when you can't breathe in the town. It's never really helped you. Now you have to trust it, even though it hurts to know that it didn't know why it didn't. So, no, that wasn't me. So whatever anybody says, it's not going to be.
Nobody said anything. When I was driving in this morning,
Oh,
I saw a
you
lady
seen that?
that did that, and she was similar looking to you. I didn't really stare at her, but she was heading this way, and that's why I asked.
Okay, maybe it looks like
because I had concerns.
Oh,
Mr.
no.
Klein, you're okay with psychologically with Mr.
Oh, yeah.
Could we approach briefly on that?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Hi, I'm Amanda Gaskin with Briar Patch Realty. Helping qualified heroes save money is my passion. When I help a hero buy or sell a home, they receive a check from Homes for Heroes. Check out amandasheroes.com for more information.
Okay. Ms. Moore, so if I accept your plea, what are you going to be sentenced to?
2 to 3 years of probation.
Okay, good. Ms. Moore, did you read the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand it?
Absolutely.
Okay. Did you discuss it with your attorney?
Mm-hmm.
Say yes?
Yes, I'm sorry, yes,
Okay.
sir.
Did he answer all of your questions?
Yes.
Were you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Did you sign the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any questions for the court or your attorney or the state, Ms. Moore?
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
You calmed down a lot when you started talking to me, so you understand everything that's
I
going on?
do. I actually do, because what you were giving me the opportunity to be heard. And when you're not, I'm sure that looks a certain way if their language doesn't even begin to touch what they don't know. So
Yes,
thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome. I want the best for you.
I want the best for y'all, because whether or not you know it, I really am thankful for this. Yeah, it's been that, so thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Moore, I do accept your plea.
Okay.
You're adjudicated guilty. You're sentenced to 3 years probation on the felony counts. However, it will early terminate at 1 year. if you can successfully complete all the terms by that time
Yes, sir.
and don't commit any new law violations.
Absolutely not.
You're sentenced to time served on the misdemeanor counts. I didn't say before, the felony counts are concurrently. They'll run at the same time. You need to pay the $800, well, it's a total of $1,000 in restitution, perform 24 hours of community service work. All monetary assessments mandated by statute or county ordinance are imposed. That's the court cost.
Okay.
There's also a total of $250 public defender's fee. Ms. Moore, and with everybody here, if you ever, if you get behind on money, if you have some problems on that and you've been trying to make the money and you can't earn it, do a letter to the court. Let us look at it before you violate, before probation violates, and say, hey, I need to address this up front. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Good luck to you.
All right. Thank you. Okay, yeah, I know. I'm now that one. After all the time, it's okay. I'd rather do that one day. True story.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next one.
The next case I have is State of Florida versus Julio La Chapelle Castillo. And Joseph McCovey, just for the record, on his behalf. Your Honor, I'd like to set this on docket day in the hopes of resolving the case. I don't know what your feelings are as far as having.
Okay, I'm sorry. This defendant is Olivia's?
La Chapelle Castillo.
Okay, yes, sir.
And I'd like to put it on docket day next week. I'm open. I don't know how the court feels about how old this case is. I'm open to have it be clear continue or clear trial.
I had said 2 weeks ago trial, or 2 months ago trial next time. So
great.
I'm looking at plea trial.
Plea trial is great with me, Your Honor. Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
The last case I have is State of Florida versus Osman Olivas Martinez, and Your Honor, Mr. Olivas Martinez is now out of state. I'd like to ask for a continuance in order to get this worked out and get him back here. I believe that I don't see why we can't have this worked out for next time.
And you've received discovery?
I have received discovery. I don't have a plea offer, but I am working with Mr. Gomez on that.
Okay. And my note from before said that you had just received discovery. So we'll continue it and trial next time. Okay?
Perfect.
Good.
All right. I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Have a great day.
You too. And thank you for understanding what was going on in the courtroom. I appreciate that. Mr. Cotton.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
Excuse me. I have one case on the docket. It's Noah Phillips. That's 22 CF 3000. If I could have just 20 seconds.
Yes, sir.
Judge, I anticipate that's going to be resolved. I've sent some information to the state attorney's office. I believe he's probably got to review that in order to be able to resolve it. If we could just leave that set for a plea or continue.
Yes, sir. It's on Phillips?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Madam Clerk, what would be that date for docket day?
20.
Judge, I probably need, do you have a miscellaneous day after that? I'm going to be out of town next week with family vacation.
Okay. Well, and you don't want to do it on Thursday this week?
If that gives multiple contested motions, I don't want to say that I'm going to be having time to look at that. I have a standard ground hearing motion to suppress, restitution hearing, all of that. So I would rather set it for the 20th.
If there's another one the week after, Judge, just because I'm not going to be here. So that next
What about April 10th?
That should be fine, Your Honor.
April 10th at 9 o'clock, and then we just continue the underlying case?
If we could just continue that case until then to whatever your...
Good. So April 10th at at 9 o'clock.
Okay. Your Honor, I also have some cases for Mr. Gates today.
What's your name? I've still got Walker on the docket.
Judge, I think the new case of Ms. Walker has already been continued by motion. This is a VOP that was tracking along with that, so it just needs to also get set for May 8th.
That's right, Your Honor.
Yeah. I think that's all I've got. Okay, yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, for Mr. Gates, I've got Jose Cardenas, Cardenas. Your Honor, that was a PTI recall. Mr. Gomez, probably, it's my understanding that was a restitution issue and it's been paid. My office has provided is that your understanding?
Yes, that is my, I have the documents that were provided. There was a little bit of a restitution hiccup. They provided me both the documents of 2 separate payments that were made. I'm just stating this for the record. 2 separate payments that were made to the victim based on the agreed upon amount and the DPA. At this time, based on the proof of those payment of funds, we would be dismissing the DPA. Or dismissing the case, I'm sorry, because they did conclude the DPA.
Okay, so 20 CF 2450, Mr. Cardenas' case is dismissed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I believe that also, for the record, includes 20 CF 1887 as well.
Yes, sir.
Good, thank you. Yes, sir. I think those are dismissed. Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, the next case I have is Dustin Lavelle, Leveille, 22 CF 2581. Mr. Gates has requested continuance to set the deposition of one of the witnesses. It's my understanding she did not appear or was unable to be served at the last deposition. Is that right, Ms. Barrett?
That's right, she was served.
Okay, it's continued.
Is that 410, Judge, or is that a different date? 5/8?
May 8th.
5/8. Your Honor, the next case is Kirk Reynolds, Reynolds, 22 CF 2390. Your Honor, Mr. Gates is requesting this, continuance on this for depositions. I believe the victim was not served and a deputy failed to show.
Okay, it's continued 1 second.
Your Honor, the last case is Jeffrey Pybus, Pybus. It's my understanding that also has a federal case.
Yes, Your Honor. I expect that to fall off the docket. The feds have actually taken over this case. However, our office policy is to wait until we have a copy of their charging information. So once I get that, I expect that to fall off the docket.
Okay, good. It's continued.
That's all I've got, Your Honor. Good to see you.
Good seeing you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Durrell.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
You please the court. First case I have, Mr. Aaron Mann, 22 CF 2611. Your Honor, I would ask for one final continuance in this matter, try and resolve the case with the state. All the discovery has been done. We've got all the videos. I'd just like one more chance to see if we can get this worked out with possible PTI, Your Honor.
Any objection from the state?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Durrell, let me find you on the docket.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. It's continued 1 second.
Thank you, Your Honor. Next I have Mr. Lenore Minardo. This is 22 CF 1232. Your Honor, we had depositions scheduled. The deponents called in sick. I excused them. We've just got them rescheduled. I believe it's April 23rd for depots, Your Honor. We may have a continuance to get that done.
Yes, sir. It's continued.
Similar for my next case, Mr. Aaron Nano. Your Honor, actually one of the deponents had moved. We were attempting to get him reserved. The first deponent was neighbors with him, was going to try and get us the address. I've been in contact with her. She's saying he no longer wants to provide his address. She did provide a phone number. I've attempted contact. He hasn't called. I'm trying to get depots reset if we may have a continuance to do that. And in addition, if I may have, or if the state has any objection, if we can serve that deponent who is now in Pensacola through the state attorney's office, and then it'll be up to them whether or not to determine whether he's a cooperating witness, I guess. And that is, I believe that was Thomas Wiley.
I would have no objection to that, Your Honor.
Okay, it's continued.
Next, Your Honor, is Mr. Tyler Stewart, 22 CF 2108. Your Honor, if we can leave him set for plea continue, I believe we have a agreement worked out with the state. This one is on me, though. I neglected to send proof of payment to Ms. Davis. get that done. I believe we're going to have a dismissal with costs as soon as I can show the proof of the restitution payment, Your Honor.
Okay, please continue.
And that is the 20th, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Next, Your Honor, is Mr. Travis Simpler. He has 2 cases, I believe, requesting a continuance in both. I've got most of the videos on one. I believe I'm still waiting on videos and a search warrant affidavit in the newest case, Your Honor.
Okay, let's continue.
And last for me, Your Honor, is Joshua Wilberscheid, 22 CF 2589. I believe, yeah, if we can leave this one set for the 28th as well, I believe this one will be a plea, Your Honor. If we can leave it set, please continue, just in case it...
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Please continue.
And Your Honor, I am also standing in for Don Durrell and Mr. Edward Thornburg. I believe there's a agreed upon continuance in Mr. Thornburg's case as well.
Okay, let's continue.
I believe that's all I have. If I may be excused, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Ms. Bentley. Good morning, ma'am.
First case I have is DeMonte Dawson in 21 CF 78, 2017 CF 1595, and 20 CF 2270. I have filed a motion to suppress this morning. If we could try to set that for a hearing date.
Okay. Madam Clerk, when do we have some time? Okay, so April 13th would be at 2:30, right?
You said at 1:30, Judge?
At 2:30, because we've got arraignments at 1:30. So we want, do we need to be here on docket day? We just need to continue the
Can we
underlying
just continue
case?
it to the next pre-trial and then set it for the motion date, Your Honor?
Yeah.
Can we just continue to the next pre-trial?
That's, okay, so I'm doing continued trial next time.
Yes, sir.
Because we had trial last time, and after this motion, hopefully we'll be in a position to do that.
Yes, sir.
And then the motion will be heard on April 13th at 2:30.
Yes, sir. The next case, Your Honor, I have is Sylvester Jackson in 22 CF 2130. I have been in conversation with the state about this case. We can get it one cycle continuance. We're trying to see if we can get it worked out.
Okay. Just know, I'm going to say continued trial next time.
And the next case is Bamacola Nyan in 22 CF 2816. And that's for continuance on this case as well. The state and I have talked about it. There's some information the state's looking into, so we can get one cycle continuance.
Okay, so it's continued trial next time.
The next one happens to inmate. He's going to be a plea. If I could appear via Zoom for that, and I will leave the plea form with the state.
Sure.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, who is that defendant?
Is that
Zoom? Luna in
yeah.
The next one I have is Chavez McLemore. It's 21 CF 3225, 22 CF 1164, 22 CF 1881, and 20 CF 3237. Your Honor, I have talked to the state about this case. We are still waiting on videos of one of the cases that we have not received. And the state's supposed to look into that. We agree that we continue one more time so we can get that information, so we can get the case resolved.
To the state, we talked about needing digital evidence last time. We'll be able to get that to...
We're still working on it, Your Honor. I would. The best that I can say is that we'll get it to them by the next time.
How about getting it to them before the 20th? And put it down for plea continued. So y'all need to get them that deposition before the 20th.
Wait, I'm sorry, say that again, Your Honor?
You need to get them the video deposition that they've been seeking for the last couple months. You need to get it to them by the 20th, because I'm putting it down for plea continue. I want to see you on docket day and say, and hear that y'all have given them that information. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, next case I have is Derek Reed. It's in 22 CF 96 and 22 CF 654. Mr. Reed is present, Your Honor. We did depots with the co-defendant on one of the cases, and one of the main officers was not available. So we asked for a cycle continuance on that.
Okay, so you obtained the address that you were seeking a couple months ago?
I did not obtain a, so it's two different cases. So in 22 CF 96, we did do depositions, and one of the officers, main officers, was not available, so we need to continue that case. In 22 CF 654, I have not received the address for that witness in the case.
To the state, what's going on? I mean, we talked about it 2 months ago.
Judge, I think what happened on the co-defendant's case, there was this particular person that appeared, but that was because somehow Ms. Jaquith was able to get in contact with her and have her appear. I'm not really sure how it happened, because we were never able to get service at that point either. So I don't think that we have an address to provide at this point.
So what's going to happen to the case? If you don't have an address, you're going to be in limbo forever, or what's going on?
I think the other case is driving the bus at this point, as far as timing wise.
So we can set one of them for trial?
We can, Judge.
Okay, that's the 96 case?
The 96 case is the one that we are waiting for the officer who didn't show up for depots.
And you need an address on the 654 case, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So continued trial next time on the 22 CF 96 case, and then just continue on the 654 case.
Yes, sir. What was the date, Your Honor, for the next trial?
It is May 8th.
And the next case I have is Jacob Roberts, is 22 CF 3199. Your Honor, we did get discoveries first time up. We are still waiting on any digital evidence. So that's for continuance.
Yes, ma'am. It's continued 1 second.
Your Honor, that's all I have, I believe.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I've got Shelton down next. I don't know who Shelton is. Nope, no attorney Shelton. McCarthy. Ms. Abdullah, did you come back in?
Yes, Your Honor. Milton McDonald from with Abbott, Cervantes, Vasquez Cervantes. We have the state has made an offer. We are inclined to accept the offer. We're just tweaking a few details.
So you want to take it later this morning?
Did you want to plead this morning?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. We want to plead this morning, but we were just getting some.
Judge, did you have a hostile matter we could approach?
Yes, ma'am.
Check out the soaps, bath bombs, and other bath and body products, all made by hand with natural ingredients at Hub City Soapery. Visit us at 1092 North Verdon Boulevard in Crestview, or shop online at hubcitysoapery.com. Hub City Soapery.
So, Ms. Abdullah, your case is passed. I'll see you later this morning.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Lopello?
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, sir.
I have Thomas Morgan as my first case. We'd like to leave this one set for trial, but we can only try the case the week of April 3.
Okay.
There's a docket day in between there, or a mini docket day or something like that.
Docket day. This is Morgan?
Thomas Morgan, yes.
Okay. So trial Docket day is on the 20th. at
20th?
9 o'clock.
Very good. And the next matter I have is Newsom, Donovan Newsom, that's an inmate, he'll be at 1:30.
Okay.
And then I have Joseph Rogers, not present but does have a waiver. This case has a motion to suppress hearing set for Thursday the 16th at 2:30. So I'd suggest we could either have it as a placeholder continuance, perhaps, or just leave
Do
it.
you want to do plea? Do you want to do plea continue for the underlying case, and then I still see you on the motion?
That's fine, Judge.
Okay, so plea continue. Yes, sir.
And then we have Daniel Schmidt, not present, does have a waiver. This is a new case, and we're working to get some depots set. We've moved to continue that matter.
It's continued.
Thank you. And what's the date for the pretrial?
The pretrial is May 8th.
Great, thank you. And then I have Ashton Sonderman. That's going to be a plea in absentia, and we're going to be turning that in today, if that's all right with the court.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. My partner, Mr. Ray, is going to bring that to court, and we're going to submit it in the afternoon. And then I have Kyle Wright on the 1:30. He's also an inmate as well, so we're going to continue that matter then. So, thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Brennan?
There's Corey Brown for Seth Laviolette. It's 21 CF 2459. Judge, he's back in the docket. He's had a violation of his PTI agreement. He lives out of state. We have executed a motion withdrawal in this case as a PTI violation is not covered under the original contract. He's also executed that motion withdrawal as well.
He's consented to the motion?
He has, Judge. I
Can you
filed
file
it.
that?
I did file it, Judge.
Okay. So the motion to withdraw is granted as long as you get your client notice that he's got to be here on the 20th at 9 o'clock. So I've got it down for plea continued. So he needs to be here for a docket day.
And I assume if he retains counsel by then, counsel could appear for his behalf.
Certainly, yes, sir.
Is the court minutes good, Judge?
I want him here live, even if he's got counsel, because it's such an old case. Is he out of state?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. If he has counsel, then he can do that.
Okay.
Just the counsel.
Okay, thanks, Judge. Lastly, Judge, we have Randy Rocher. Randy Rocher, 22 CF 2476. It's a new case, Judge. We're missing one video in the case I'm going to have to get. It's a material video. This has to continue next pretrial. For
Yes,
sum up.
It's continued.
Go ahead, sir. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Heath?
Good morning, Your Honor. Please record. I have one case before Your Honor that I'm covering for one as well. May we approach for a moment?
Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Amanda Gaskin with Briar Patch Realty. Helping qualified heroes save money is my passion. When I help a hero buy or sell a home, they receive a check from Homes for Heroes. Check out amandasheroes.com for more information.
Hi everybody, this is Alex again from the UPS store. Maybe I can let you in on a little secret. Did you know we're open on Sundays? Yeah, since February, probably one of the best kept secrets in Crestview, we're open on Sundays from 10 until 3 p.m.
Congratulations, Dixie Dan Powell, for your recent induction into the National Trial Lawyers Top 100. The National Trial Lawyers Top 100 is an organization celebrating premier trial lawyers from across the country who meet stringent qualifications as civil and/or criminal defense lawyers.
And Judge, I'm covering for Ms. Susan Martinez. It's going to be State versus Vasquez, 22 CF 2104. That's Susan Martinez, Judge.
Thank you. I don't see Ms. Martinez here.
Maybe under the Watson firm, Judge?
I don't see one under Watson either.
I'll advise her accordingly.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge. That's all I have. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
I've got Joe Warner.
Hi, Judge.
Hello.
I'm with the Attorney General's office. My case is with Mr. Klein's.
It's versus who?
It's with Mr. Klein's.
Okay. Please, Mr. Kleins or Klein?
The
Kleins?
public defender, Scott.
Oh, okay.
He's a defense on it.
Gotcha. He's outside.
I'll go get him, Your Honor.
Mr. Switek, can we do your case while we're waiting on Mr. Kleins?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
Several. If we could take Taylor Newman, let's plead to the bench.
Okay.
If I may approach.
Yes, sir. Mr. Newman. 22 CF 616, 22 CF 622. Thank you, sir. Mr. Newman, if you'll raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you, sir. Mr. Newman, are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication? Have you ever been treated for any mental illness or emotional disturbance, or are you suffering from any of those at this time?
No.
How far did you go in school?
Some college courses.
Did you read the plea agreement?
I did.
Do you understand it?
Yes.
Did you discuss it with your attorney?
Yes.
Did he answer all of your questions?
Yes.
Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
Did you sign the plea agreement?
Yes.
Do you understand that if I accept your plea, that you're waiving your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
Do you believe it's in your best interest to enter the plea?
Yes.
Are you entering the plea today freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
Has anyone forced, threatened, or coerced you into entering the plea?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything regarding what the sentence will be?
No.
The other side of that, as Mr. Switek said, Mr. Newman, if you do not enter the plea today, you shall be sentenced to 10 years in prison or any other definite sentence.
No.
You have any questions for the court or your attorney or the state?
No, at this time.
Okay, you understand that you could be sentenced up to a maximum of 10 years in prison?
5 years.
Well, it's 5 times 2, right?
No.
Okay.
It's 5 times 1.
So it's just
22, 622 is consolidated into 616.
Plea to bench, no process. Okay, so count 2 is being dismissed.
Yes.
Got it. Good. Thank you. Mr. Newman, it's hard for me to educate you on it if I don't understand it. So you understand that you could receive and I have no idea what I'll sentence you to. I haven't heard everything, but I want to make sure that you understand the maximum downside. You understand you could be sentenced up to 5 years in prison.
Yes.
Mr. Newman, I do accept your plea. I find that you're alert and intelligent, that your plea is freely and voluntarily entered, that you understand the nature of the charges against you. Are you satisfied with Mr. Switek's representation of you?
Yes.
And that you're represented by competent counsel with whom you state you are satisfied. I do find a factual basis for the entering of the plea. As far as sentencing?
Approximately a month from now, Judge.
Okay. So do we want to do it on April 13th at 2:30? Would you rather do it on April?
No, actually, no, that's fine.
Okay. April 13th at 2:30. I'll do all my homework, whatever's provided to me, and I'll see you here then. Okay. Thank you, sir. So, and pre-sentence investigation?
We waive for the clerk, if we could consolidate 622 to 616.
Yes, 22 CF 622, I believe the state filed a motion to consolidate quite a while back. That was part of the confusion. But on 22 CF 616, the ender of the count one states is missing count two for the record.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. I'll see you then.
I've Ernest Machino, 2022 CF 1486.
Mr. Machino, come on down. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Judge, I'd like to get a continuance on this. I'm waiting for some certified records to get here from California. They've acknowledged the request, and they're in the process of doing that.
Any objection from the state?
No objection, we would just request trial next time.
Yes, sir. Continued trial next time. Thank you, sir.
Dion Olszewski, 22 CF 3107.
Yes, sir.
On Mr. Olszewski's case, I'd like to get a date for a competency hearing.
Okay. April 13th, 2:30?
That'll be fine, Judge.
Is that loaded up? Okay. April 13th, 2:30.
And lastly, Arliss Steele, 22 CF 1849. We worked that out Thursday of last week. It's going to be a plea and abstention to a misdemeanor.
Okay, good. So I'll put it down for the continue.
And the control date is what?
It'll be docket day on the 20th. Can you get me that plea before then?
Certainly can.
Good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes, sir. Mr. Warner?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Klein?
Your Honor, this is Gregory Marler in 22 CF 1295. We have taken some depositions in this matter. Mr. Marler recently retained an attorney to process the probate issues on this case. And I've talked with Mr. Warner. We're going to ask the court for one last continuance so that Mr. Marler can have time to hopefully get that disposed of. I believe it would be a summary administration type of a situation. He doesn't have any siblings, and I don't think there's any contest on the will. So I think it's been a long time since I did anything probate-wise, but that type of a situation usually can be resolved relatively quick. I have provided Mr. Marler, there was an updated plea offer from the state. I went over that with him today. He has decided at this point to neglect that or to reject that. I believe the offer hopefully will stay up until May 8th. But I've also informed Mr. Marler and Mr. Warner my intent would be next cycle to set this for trial if there's no resolution here.
Mr. Warner?
No objection, Judge.
Okay, so it's continued trial next time. So, Mr. Warner, that means that if I see you on March 8th and it's not resolved, then we'll be going to trial at the end of that month. Okay?
And just so the court, I want to say this before I forget. I know Mr. Warner is going to be unavailable the second trial week, so if it is tried, I would prefer to be tried that first week of the cycle.
I'm out, I think that's
June 5th week.
Yes, Your Honor.
So.
Good. Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Since we've been working for 2 hours, we're going to take a 10-minute recess, and then we'll come back and finish up the morning. So we're in recess for 10 minutes.
All rise. Court's in recess for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I kind of figured out as I was saying.
Anybody else who's out there now?
Congratulations, Dixie Dan Powell, for your recent induction into the National Trial Lawyers Top 100. The National Trial Lawyers Top 100 is an organization celebrating premier trial lawyers from across the country who meet stringent qualifications as civil and/or criminal defense lawyers.
At Powell, Powell & Powell, we are a family of lawyers working together as a team for our clients. For more information, visit us online today at www.powelllawfirm.com.
This is Tiffany Woodham, State Farm's newest agent in Crestview. I'd like to personally invite you to stop by my office on North Verdon Boulevard for a no-cost policy review. Let me help you start saving today. Call in, walk in, or click in at yourcrestviewagent.com.
Check out the soaps, bath bombs, and other bath and body products, all made by hand with natural ingredients, at Hub City Soapery. Visit us at 1092 North Verdon Boulevard in Crestview, or shop online at hubcitysoapery.com. Hub City Soapery.
Hi, I'm Amanda Gaskin with Briar Patch Realty. Helping qualified heroes save money is my passion. When I help a hero buy or sell a home, they receive a check from Homes for Heroes. Check out amandasheroes.com for more information.
Hi everybody, this is Alex again from the UPS store. Maybe I can let you in on a little secret. Did you know we're open on Sundays? Yeah, since February, probably one of the best kept secrets in Crestview, we're open on Sundays from 10 until 3 p.m.
Congratulations, Dixie Dan Powell, for your recent induction into the National Trial Lawyers Top 100. The National Trial Lawyers Top 100 is an organization celebrating premier trial lawyers from across the country who meet stringent qualifications as civil and/or criminal defense lawyers.
At Powell, Powell, we are a family of lawyers working together as a team for our clients. For more information, visit us online today at www.powelllawfirm.com.
This is Tiffany Woodham, State Farm's newest agent in Crestview. I'd like to personally invite you to stop by my office on North Verdon Boulevard for a no-cost policy review. Let me help you start saving today. Call in, walk in, or click in at yourcrestviewagent.com.
Check out the soaps, bath bombs, and other bath and body products, all made by hand with natural ingredients, at Hub City Soapery. Visit us at 1092 North Verdon Boulevard in Crestview, or shop online at hubcitysoapery.com. Hub City Soapery.
Hi, I'm Amanda Gaskin with Briar Patch Realty. Helping qualified heroes save money is my passion. When I help a hero buy or sell a home, they receive a check from Homes for Heroes. Check out amandasheroes.com for more information.
Hi everybody, this is Alex again from the UPS store. Maybe I can let you in on a little secret. Did you know we're open on Sundays? Yeah, since February, probably one of the best kept secrets in Crestview, we're open on Sundays from 10 until 3 p.m.
Congratulations, Dixie Dan Powell, for your recent induction into the National Trial Lawyers Top 100. The National Trial Lawyers Top 100 is an organization celebrating premier trial lawyers from across the country who meet stringent qualifications as civil and/or criminal defense lawyers.
At Powell, we are a family of lawyers working together as a team for our clients. For more information, visit us online today at www.powelllawfirm.com.
This is Tiffany Woodham, State Farm's newest agent in Crestview. I'd like to personally invite you to stop by my office on North Verdon Boulevard for a no-cost policy review. Let me help you start saving today. Call in, walk in, or click in at yourcrestviewagent.com.
Check out the soaps, bath bombs, and other bath and body products, all made by hand with natural ingredients, at Hub City Soapery. Visit us at 1092 North Verdon Boulevard in Crestview, or shop online at hubcitysoapery.com. Hub City Soapery.
under B.
Yes, ma'am.
Number 17, and docket judge, page 7, well, on my.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Ms. Vasquez, do you agree to the continuance?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock, okay?
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Have a good day. That's all I
Thank you, you
have.
too. Mr. Dixie Dan Powell. See Mr. Powell.
Your Honor, he had a civil order to show judgment or cause or something like that.
Okay. Mr. Nopes.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
Judge, I've got also, in addition to this morning's docket, I'll be back at 1:30 for my inmates.
Okay.
But the first non-inmate is Julian Labello. Mr. Labello, present, Judge. Judge, I was appointed in December. I need to schedule depots, and I've got to check on discovery. I glanced this morning, and I don't believe I've gotten it yet, but we'll get it worked out with Mr. Gomez, even though it shows Cassie Reed on the docket. I now know it's A.J. Gomez.
Okay, and I'm sorry, this is...
Continue.
No, but I mean...
Oh, I'm sorry, Julian Labello.
Okay. Hello, Mr. LaBello. Come on up. Thank you. Mr. LaBello, do you agree to the continuance?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand what Mr. Noakes is planning on doing on your case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Judge, I then have Jaden Lovett. Judge, I saw him here earlier this morning, Mr. Lovett. Y'all check to see if he can share.
Mr. Noakes, why don't we double back for Mr. Lovett?
I'm sorry?
Who do you have after Mr. Lovett?
Levi Lucas, Judge.
Levi Lucas. Mr. Lucas is coming up.
Judge, I need to continue it. I spoke with Mr. Gomez this morning, and there's some discovery, I believe, that we've got to exchange.
Mr. Lucas, come on up. Mr. Lucas, do you understand what Mr. Noakes is doing in your case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You agree to the continuance?
Yes, sir.
I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock. Stay in touch with Mr. Noakes. Thank you, sir.
Judge, I then have Blake.
I got Lovett.
Okay, please, Mr. Lovett.
Well, there's two Lovetts. There's a Jaden and a Marcus.
Jaden. Jaden Lovett. Can you call Officer 74? So, Judge, I need to continue Mr. Lovett's case. I spoke with Mr. Gomez, and there's discovery that's due, and he's going to send an email and get it rounded up. There's several cases. I know they're old cases. I was appointed, I believe, at the end of December, if I remember right. So I'm new to the case.
And you have ever met Mr. Lovett?
He was here last time, Judge, and I gave him my card and asked him to schedule an appointment. I don't have any memory that I've ever talked to him when I was in my office. I just know I saw him here in court last time.
Okay, if I require Mr. Lovett to meet with you before March 20th, can you accommodate that? Either meet with him physically or on the phone?
Maybe 2 weeks, Judge. My schedule's tight, so within the next 14 days, I'll be able to accommodate him.
Okay.
You got to schedule an appointment. You can't just leave a message for me to call you, okay?
Mr. Lovett, I'm going to continue your case, but I'm also setting a hearing for status conference on April 13th at 9 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
So I want to see you back here then. I'm ordering that you have an appointment with Mr. Noakes, whether it's telephonically or in person.
Yes, sir.
And if you haven't done that by April 13th, I'm probably going to revoke your bond and you'll go out that door. So make sure that you stay in touch with him, okay?
Yes, sir, I will. Yes, sir.
April 13th at 9.
And Judge, I just want to make sure from my notes, are you setting that in the May date with the intention of trial that cycle?
Mr. Noakes, you said
I don't have
discovery,
any
you just got on the
discovery.
case in December.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing
I
that.
just want to make sure I have the right notes.
Thank
I'll be
you.
here April 13th, okay? And then you've got to be here May 8th, okay? But between now and 2 weeks, you've got, you need to call and schedule an appointment to talk to me in the next 2 weeks. Do that today, please.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
We covered Mr. Lucas. I've got Blake McDonald, Judge.
Blake McDonald?
But I have spoke to him twice in the past via the phone. I was waiting to get discovery, which I believe I got in, so I need to set it for May 8th.
But you didn't waive Mr. McDonald's appearance today? And you haven't
Judge,
seen him today?
I don't believe that, I have not filed a waiver because he's not been able to physically come in and talk to me and he signed something, so I can try to call him.
What's his name?
Blake McDonald.
Blake McDonald, and any other?
He's right there.
Oh, Blake McDonald, approach him.
Mr. McDonald, you almost had a capias out for you, so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How are you? We need to schedule an appointment, okay? I think I've got some discovery in, so now we need to talk, okay? So call and set an appointment in my office. I'm gonna ask to put it on May 8th. May 8th, continue.
Yes, May 8th at 9 o'clock. Mr. McDonald, you got to stay in touch with Mr. Noakes, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Good day. Yes, sir. Judge John Edward McLaughlin, present judge. The state and I've agreed to either, we're going to set it for docket day, plea or trial.
Good. Mr. McLaughlin, good to see you, sir.
How you doing, Judge?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Working.
Yes, sir. That's good. So I'll see you back here on the 20th next week, and if it's not resolved then we'll be setting it for trial at the end of this month.
All right, thank you.
Okay? Thank you, sir.
William Morgan, 21 CF 3014. Judge, there's a waiver on file. I filed a motion to suppress last week, and it's currently set for March 24th.
Okay, so we'll continue the case?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, Judge, what was that?
Continued on Morgan?
William Morgan.
Because we have a motion hearing set. Mr. Noakes, who's next?
David Pope, 22 CF 1908. Judge, the state was going to talk with the victim in this case. The victim, I know, has been hard to get a hold of. She had been in the hospital. If we could leave it set for docket day with the understanding it's clear continuance, maybe the state.
Last time we said trial next time, so.
Did I understand it's been difficult with her condition? I think the state's trying to talk to her and get some information nailed down. And we're going to make the next move will be probably decide if we've got to take her to depot.
We have tried to get up with her. It is a little bit more challenging to talk with her.
Because of her medical condition? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Your Honor. She's older. I just was able to get, we got some media and things of that nature, but she's just complicated to get on the phone. I know that she's near her house. It's complicated to get her on the phone. If we could just get one more cycle to try to figure this one out.
Well, and I had said trial this time.
That's fine, so Your Honor, if you want to do that.
Pre-trial?
If you would like to, we do. I know I myself already have 7 cases set, so if you want to do that, that's fine.
Okay. Mr. Noakes, but you haven't been able to talk to the victim, right?
That's correct, Judge. I don't feel comfortable with plea trial since we're talking plea trial on Walton. So I'd say plea continuance and maybe.
Okay, let's do that. Hello, Mr. Pope. Hello. Mr. Pope, so we're going to do plea continue, but here's the caveat, is that you don't have to be here on the 20th. I just want to hear from the state and your attorney, Mr. Noakes, that they've been able to communicate with the alleged victim, and that they've got some deposition set up, but that they've just made some headway with the alleged victim, okay? So you don't have to be here, you can if you want to be, but then the underlying trial is continued until May 8th at 9 o'clock, okay? But I'll see Mr. Noakes next week. Thank you, sir.
You're good to go. Judge, I've got Katrina Reno, 23 CF 53. Judge, I've just been appointed to Miss Reno's case. It's a new case.
Katrina Reno.
But I've not had contact with her, so I can't speak as to where she is today.
Okay, a KP Sevilla issue for Ms. Reno, and the first appearance judge will determine the bond.
There's still a lot of people in the hallway.
Why are they in the hall?
There was, I guess, it wasn't.
Let's just pass it. Let me see if I can find her out there.
Okay, so we'll pass on Reno?
Right.
Okay. Yes, sir.
And then Nathaniel Rutherford, Judge, he's present. This case is a co-defendant with a bunch of others, and I don't know what they do with the other cases. What you're going to do?
One has been completed, I believe, one will be
So let's just continue it to May 8th, Judge.
Mr. Rutherford, how are you? Good. Doing well, thank you. Do you agree to the continuance?
Yes, sir.
You understand what Mr. Noakes is doing on your case in relation with all the other cases?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock. Thank you, sir.
Judge, the next out of custody I have is Carlos Samblin. He's present, Judge. Judge, we've got to set depots. Their co-defendants are incarcerated, and so I've got to track down exactly where they're at, but we obviously need to take depots at this point. We've been discussing the case, and we know that we've got to do that to try to push this to resolution.
Yes, sir. It's an old case.
I understand, Judge.
Mr. Samberlin, I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Have a good day. Britton Snell, Judge, I know you're going to say this is an old case also.
Britton Christopher Snell. Good.
We had depots last week or the week before last. There was another issue that come up with the co-defendant now wanting to step forward and testify against my client. So we have agreed to continue it.
Okay. Mr. Snell, do you agree to the continuance? I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock. Stay in touch with Mr. Noakes. Thank you, sir.
Judge, that's all I've got that's out of custody.
Sounds good.
See you
Thanks,
back at
Mr.
1:30.
Noakes. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Judge.
Mr. Powell? Hello, Mr. Powell.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir.
Still morning, but one case, Your Honor, DeAndre Lovelace, 2022 CF 002357. Time constraints, Your Honor. We're trying to get depositions set. I talked to Mr. Gomez. He doesn't object to continuance. I'd ask for one last one. We'll be had it finalized by then. We've had an offer, but not a fairly good offer from the state, but the client is claiming his innocence.
Well, I'm just looking at, we talked about trial this cycle last time.
Yes.
So why shouldn't it go to trial this time?
Yeah. We have a motion that we'd like to get heard that we didn't get last time, time constraints. And
when did you file the motion?
Pardon?
When did you file the motion?
I hadn't filed it, it's dictated, and
So when you say it wasn't, it hadn't been heard yet, kind of misleading to the court. You haven't even filed it yet.
Yeah. I just said we have a motion that we have to get heard, I thought.
Have to get heard, yeah.
Yeah.
But you got to file it before you can get it
Yes,
heard.
sir. I have it ready. I just hadn't filed
Okay.
it.
When are you going to file it?
I can file it today when I get back to the office.
Okay. Mr. Gomez, any thoughts?
If there is a motion, I think they have a right to file it, but yeah, I would defer to the court on it.
Okay. I'm going to put it down for a plea continue. Mr. Powell, I want to see you on the 20th. I want to make sure that you've got that motion filed.
Yes,
and then
sir.
you've got it set for a hearing, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll see you on the 20th. We'll see where we are.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
When is the trial date if we go this?
And it's plea continued, so I don't have you down for plea trial.
Oh, okay.
And I just want to make sure you file the motion
Yes, sir.
by the 20th, and then after that, we'll continue it until the next cycle.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. And I apologize. I pretty banged up with civil time constraints, but that's no excuse. And I think
Criminal
I'm set.
takes priority on my docket. It should on yours.
I think I'm set with you in April and another one early April. So trying to get this done.
Yes, sir. Thank
you,
you.
Your Honor. Apologize.
Mr. Cobb?
Yes, sir. Judge Jason Cobb on behalf of
Tyavion Morris. Judge, he's housed in the Escambia County Jail. I didn't realize that you had the inmates come up at 1:30 via Zoom, but I've talked to the state. I'm going to be asking for continuance. I've talked to my client. He's aware that we're still in early stages. We're still in the discovery process, and there's been a hitch come up where one of the co-defendants is now going to need another appointed attorney because of Benjamin Buck's situation. So I'm going to be asking for continuance. He's well aware of it.
Okay. And with Escambia County, you're going to have to talk to them about getting him to appear via Zoom in the future, because our Okloosa jail won't bring him on.
Yeah, I was on the emails with Mr. Parker, the person over at Escambia County who's in charge of that, and in the future I will do that. So,
any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Morris's case is continued 1 second.
Sir?
Continued until May 8th.
That's what I was looking for the date. Yes, sir.
9 o'clock. Yes, sir.
That's all I have, Judge.
Thanks, Mr. Cobb.
Have a good day.
You too.
Judge, if I may step back.
Yes, sir.
I did call for Katrina Reno. Judge, there was no answer. I will also share with the court that somebody was out there that knew her and said they had not seen her today.
Okay, thank you. A capias is issued from Ms. Reno, and the first appearance judge will determine the bond.
Very good. Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Vasquez? You do it already, Ms. Vasquez? No. Lovelace?
No, that was,
Those are the clients, aren't they? On that side. Good. Okay. Yes, sir. Next, private counsel. Whoever's up.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning, sir.
John Madden here on behalf of Preston Alsons, 22 CF 2437. We've been in discussions with the state about possibly getting this case resolved, so if we could have it set for plea to continue on the next court date.
Yes, sir. I'll see you on the 20th.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Jacob?
The first I have is De La Rosa, Miguel De La Rosa. I'm going to go ahead and just assume that he probably doesn't know he's supposed to be here today because the order transferring it from Division 1 was signed on the 10th and processed on the 10th, and I saw that notice was sent on Friday, but of course that's kind of short notice.
Yes, ma'am.
I will tell the court he's been to 3 prior pretrial conferences in Division 1. He's appeared at every single one. I double-checked the clerk's minute sheet. So
do you want to do plea continue?
We can, Judge. I honestly, because another attorney in my office was handling the case, I don't know what kind of contact, if any, we've had with him. But also I will note for the record that we requested discovery in August and have not received anything. Most likely, I'm assuming, because it was Mr. Gomez's case and the requests were going to Division 1 state attorneys. So
why don't we set it for plea continue? Okay.
That's fine, Your
I'll see you
Honor.
on the 20th at 9.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next I have is Michael Bryan. There's a waiver on file in that case, 22 CF 655. I did file a motion to exclude evidence for failure to preserve. The state has received it, but it has not yet been set, so we'll be asking to continue this matter to the May docket so we can get that set and heard.
Any objection from the state?
No.
Okay, I know that we'd set plea trial last time, so plea continue, and you'll set that motion for a year.
Yes.
Do you want me to set it now? Do you want it for April 17th?
Before I commit to anything, I prefer to look at my calendar, Judge. I don't want to I appreciate that, but I unfortunately don't have my calendar memorized. Your Honor, and I know that we had previously, I did expect to be prepared to go forward to trial. However, things changed at the state attorney's office based on what charges we'd be going forward on, which is what required the additional information, just so the court's aware. That changed.
Let me stop you. When I was doing my homework and going through all these dockets of 400 names, it was noteworthy that only one of your cases was older than 22 CF 1500. So you're really moving your cases forward. You're getting them disposed of. Thank you for that.
Yes, sir. The next I have is William Malott, Your Honor. That's 22 CF 2469. We did reach a resolution. I have a written plea agreement to just the misdemeanor charge. The state will be dismissing the felony charge. It's kind of he's in Santa Rosa County Jail, so I've been reaching out to his public defender, who is planning to meet with him tomorrow. So if we could leave this on plea continue for the 20th, we should have it. I should have that written plea agreement to provide to court.
Yes, ma'am.
The next I have, Your Honor, is Raymond Morgan in 23 CF 44. Mr. Morgan is present approaching, Your Honor. I do see that the order was signed on the 10th appointing Mr. Cobb to this case. I'm assuming Mr. Cobb hasn't had an opportunity to see it, but Mr. Morgan was aware of Mr. Cobb's appointment to his misdemeanor case, so I don't know if they've been in contact in that regard, but I know Mr. Cobb has spoken to the court, in misdemeanor court at least, to...
Mr. Cobb's right there.
Oh, there's Mr. Cobb right there.
Yeah, I spoke with him in the hallway, and he told me that I was going to be appointed or had been appointed. I got his telephone number, so I'm calling this afternoon.
Okay. So continue Mr. Morgan's case?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Morgan, I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock. Okay. Thank you, sir.
The next I have is James Nesmith in 22 CF 2693. Mr. Nesmith? Mr. Nesmith did email me because he hadn't seen me because I was downstairs. So he said he had stepped out. So he is here, so if we could just pass him for a few minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
Next I have Michael David Ross in 22 CF 2558. Mr. Ross?
Michael David Ross.
I did make an announcement in the hallway that the PDs and the council were out, so.
And I cannot speak to where Mr. Ross' location is, Judge.
Okay. What is the state seat?
KPS, Judge.
KPS will be issued for Mr. Ross, and the first appearance judge will determine the bond.
And Your Honor, on my docket, Ms. Roy is still under my name, but I know Mr. Dyram filed a notice, so I just want to make sure that was addressed.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Next is Jamie Sharo in 22 CF 2968. Your Honor, she is currently inpatient at the hospital. We do expect her to be available for Monday's docket day, and she does want to accept the state's offer, so I've asked to just clear, continue, and waive her appearance for today.
Yes, ma'am. You got it. Ms.
Sharo?
Sharo?
Yes, sir. 22 CF 2968. Sorry. Your Honor, the next is Esmalij Sylvania in 22 CF 2939. There's a waiver on file for her. We've been in conversation with the state, and I do think we'll get this worked out favorably, but I think the state just needs a little bit more time on her. So if we could just continue it to the May 8th docket.
Yes, ma'am.
The next I have is Charles Stovall in 22 CF 2612.
Mr. Stovall? Charles Rodney Stovall?
I cannot represent to the court where Mr. Stovall is.
Okay. KPS will be issued for Mr. Stovall. Let me ask you a question first. FDLE, have you gotten back that information?
We did receive FDLE, Your Honor, shortly after the last court.
KPS will be issued for Mr. Stovall, and the first appearance judge will determine the bond.
Your Honor, the next I have is Jerrica White, 22 CF 3194. And as Ms. White approaches, I think she's received this information from my office, but we were appointed at the end of last week. We have filed a motion to withdraw, but due to the very short turnaround, I don't think an order has been signed yet.
Okay. So, Ms. White, I'm going to have to continue your case. You'll be notified who your new attorney is, okay?
Thank you.
So I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock.
Thank you.
Your Honor, the next is Keandria Williams, 22 CF 3136, and I believe Ms. Williams is on Zoom.
Ms. Williams, you're on Zoom? Williams. Hello?
Hey. Good morning.
Okay. And Your Honor, Ms. Williams, we do have an agreement to resolve this case. However, she lives in Michigan and was in custody until very recently in Alachua County. So she wasn't able financially to get back to resolve this case, but we have even a signed plea agreement. It's just a matter of her also needing to be able to check into probation the same day. So what our intention is to continue this to the May 8th date. I'm going to coordinate with Ms. Williams and her Alachua County court dates and get her set for an early plea sometime in April to correspond with that Alachua County court date.
So can't pull it off by the 20th, need a continue?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm trying to ideally get it so that she can resolve Alachua and Okaloosa and check in, and then return to Michigan without needing to make extra trips.
Gotcha. Okay, Ms. Williams, I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock, okay?
Okay, thank you.
DeAndre, I'll give you a call later this week.
Okay, thank you.
And Your Honor, finally, I have Natasha Zespa, 22 CF 1534 and 23 CF 145. Ms. Zespa is present and approaching. Ms. Zespa is present, Your Honor. I would like to leave this on for docket day for plea or continue, mainly because I do believe that there's an appropriate motion to dismiss in the newer case, so I'd like to get that filed so the state can look at it, and so we can make a decision about what's going to happen then going forward with the other case.
Ms. Zespa, do you agree to the continuance?
I'm asking for docket day, Your Honor. Plea or continue?
I'm sorry. Plea continue. Okay, so Ms. Zespa, I'll see you next week on the 20th at 9 o'clock, okay? Thank you. You can.
And Your Honor, other than Mr. Nesmith, who I will have back when you do inmates, that is all I have for the morning docket.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. Private counsel? Yes, ma'am. Come on up. So go ahead.
Your Honor, I'm still waiting for the actual physical plea agreement from the state, or are we just going to do it on the record?
What? It's to a felony?
Yes, it's to a sex offense.
Okay, and it's DOC?
It's going to be the consecutive OCJ we discussed at the bench.
Gotcha. Okay, yes, ma'am. I would like to see that in writing, so what are you going to do?
I will have to go and get one and get it prepared.
Okay. Mr. McKinney's got one.
Thank you.
There you go. Thank you. Okay, then the other folks that are in the gallery or in Zoom, to the attorneys. First off, let me see the no attorneys, and then we'll get to the public defender. Jonathan Wazinski, Lonazak, 23 CF 130. How do you pronounce your last name as you're flaunting your long hair?
Lonzak.
Lonzak.
Yeah.
Mr. Lonzak, do you wish for me to appoint the public defender if you qualify financially?
Yes, sir.
How much money do you make per month?
I recently lost my job, so no.
Okay. How much have you averaged making per month over the last 5 or 6 months?
Like 25 a month.
Okay. When you say you've lost your job, how long have you been without a job?
Like a week.
Okay. You may not qualify for the public defender. If you want to fill out a financial affidavit, why don't you fill that out as you're sitting here? You have a pen?
Yeah, I filled one of these out already, but they sent it back to me like 3 times.
Okay. Okay. So, Mr. Lonzak, it sounds like you're going to be representing yourself if you can't hire a private attorney because you don't qualify. Does the state have an offer for Mr. Lonzak?
Hold on.
Thank you, Mr. Collins. Whatever you said, thank you for the advice.
But,
yes, sir.
I don't have no income right now till I find another job, which I've been trying to.
Okay.
And
Mr. Lonzak, I think this is the first time I've seen you, so what I'll do is I'll continue your case for 1 cycle. If you come back without an attorney, then I'm going to start proceeding toward trial because that's the only thing I can make you do.
Yes, for the record, Judge, the offer that we had presented was a An adjudication of guilt, 2 years of probation, $615 in court costs, $100 cost of prosecution, 48 hours of community service work.
Okay. Has Mr. Lonzak have you ever been adjudicated guilty of a felony before? Okay.
Your Honor, no, he hasn't. We would, if he wanted to enter into a plea today, be amenable to the withhold.
Mr. Lonzak, have you ever been on probation before?
Whenever I was a juvenile.
Okay. If you at least talk to an attorney, tell them what the state's offered you, a withhold of adjudication, 2 years probation, and then you have to pay some costs. And then if you don't want to accept that, then you need to bring the attorney back with you. Okay.
Yes,
So, yes, sir.
Which I just found out that I wasn't getting appointed Friday because that's when I checked the mail and so I had no time to
Okay.
check.
So I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Next is Mario Lee.
Judge, I think he's in jail.
Good. Thank you, sir. Elizabeth Lissini. L-E-S-I-N-I. Elizabeth Lissini.
Your Honor, that case should have dropped off the docket. That was one, if you recall, she had appeared multiple times over Zoom about payments. There was some hiccups with the clerk and getting paid. She did, I believe, get that paid.
That's dismissed. Lissini.
At this time, the state would dismiss this case, Your Honor.
Okay. Case number 20, CF 2196 is dismissed. Mr. Johnson, I just see you on Zoom. Mr. Johnson, are you ready? Your mic's muted. It's Ronald. I'm sorry. It's Ronald Johnson, the attorney.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, sir. Mr. Johnson, what case are you here for?
Blake Martin.
Yes, sir. Got it. Do you have a waiver for Mr. Martin?
I do, Your Honor. He is also on Zoom.
Okay, good. Hello, Mr. Martin.
You doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you, sir. How are you?
Making it, sir.
Good. Mr. Johnson, what do you want to do with Mr. Martin's case since it's a 2021 case?
Judge, I think we're ready for trial. I may have some conflicts. I need to see when the judge, when the court wants to set it.
Okay.
Because I have some federal cases at the same time, but I may be able to reschedule one of those.
Okay. The trial dates are March 27th, and then the week after that, I take it. And April 3rd, thank you.
And Your Honor, if I may, if you recall in this case, we had a hearing, I believe in late December, regarding state's motion to exclude certain witnesses, and the court had ruled on Dr. Zeman and his admissibility and what he could testify to. But there are still 2 other witnesses within that motion that state would need to know whether or not they're going to be allowed to testify in order to properly prepare.
Okay, so did I take that under advisement?
Your Honor, yes, I believe back in December we had a hearing as to Dr. Zeman, who testified, and there were 2 other witnesses, I believe, Mr. Martin's supervisor and a Louisiana state attorney who would be testifying as to the character of Mr. Martin. And I don't believe that was included within the order.
Okay. So, Sue?
They are. Go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead. Mr. Johnson, anything you want to add on that?
Yeah, they are both character witnesses. They've both known him his entire life. I have given the phone numbers to Ms. Bergman. I've offered to set up a deposition for Ms. Bergman. But I think they're qualified. If she's got an objection, I guess she needs to state it in the motion. She stated they did not have any personal knowledge of the facts of the case.
We had had the hearing on that, so whether or not I was going to need a deposition, I was going to wait on the court's order to decide whether or not if they were going to be allowed to testify. I I would need to proceed with the deposition, trying to coordinate that or not.
So, Mr. Johnson, did you think that the court had that under advisement on those two witnesses?
It was just never taken up. She had filed a motion to exclude it and has never taken any further effort after that. I mean, she's never tried to talk to them, but I can make them available, or I can do whatever Ms. Barrett would like me to do to try to assist her to state her grounds why they're not appropriate character witnesses.
What are the names of the two people, two proposed witnesses?
Lynn Uze and Joe Waits.
Yes.
Uze and Waits?
Joe Waits is a district attorney in Louisiana.
Okay.
In the neighborhood in which Mr. Martin lives.
Okay, I just want to make sure, Mr. Johnson, that, so, I just want to make sure that you've had notice of this, and if you've said, yep, I had notice of this, it came up before you, and I have it under advisement, then I'll make a ruling on that. If you're saying I didn't have notice and we need to have a hearing on it, that's what I need to know.
Judge, she thought, Ms. Berger filed a motion to exclude it some time ago. We called Dr. Zeman to testify, and you admitted his testimony in part. But the other two witnesses, the character witnesses, have never been taken up before the court. So by default, I assume maybe it's been taken under advisement.
Okay, well then I will look at that, and I'll rule on that in the next couple of days.
Thank you, Judge.
In the future, y'all, let me know if I've got the ball. If there's something that's lingering, let me know, because I don't know I have it. Okay?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, so as far as the Mr. Johnson's case, Mr. Martin's case, if I rule on that this week, then what's going to be the posture of the case?
Depending on the court's order, I propose we leave it on for docket day, figure trial, with the understanding that depending on the order the state may need to take depositions. However, of course, if they're excluded, then we'll be ready for trial.
Okay. Mr. Johnson, you plea your trial?
Judge, we want to try this case. We just need to coordinate it. I have a trial on the week of the 27th before Judge Winlaw. And the following week, I have a trial in front of Judge Frank, but I might be able to continue that one. I also have to make sure of the availability of Dr. Zeman, because he's a necessary witness in our defense.
Okay. Okay, so I'll see you back here on the 20th at 9 o'clock. If you can try to get those contingencies, figure out what's going on there, and I'm putting it down for plea or trial at this point.
So next week, 9
yes,
o'clock,
sir.
Judge?
9 o'clock on the 20th. Correct?
Thank you, Judge. Have a good week.
Thank you, sir. You too. Thank you, Mr. Martin.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, the next. Any other private counsel? I don't see anybody on Zoom. Mario Lee, did we talk about Mr. Lee?
Judge, I think he's in jail.
Okay, thank you. Still in jail. You told me that earlier. Okay. Robert McGaugh, McGaugh, I don't see Mr. McGaugh. No? Oh, good. Thank you. 22 CF 2992. Mr. McGaugh, have you applied for a public defender?
I'm doing that today. I thought I was going to be able to get a lawyer, but it seems like I'm not going to be able to do that.
Okay, tell me how much money you make per month.
I actually lost my job when I got incarcerated and bonded out here.
So how long have you been unemployed?
Probably about a month now.
Okay, what were you averaging making per month before that?
Close to like $500, $600 a week.
Okay. I do appoint the public defender to represent you, Mr. McGaugh.
Your Honor, we're going to
ask court for a one-cycle continuance for Mr. McGraw.
So that means I'll see you back here on March 20th? Nope, yep.
Great.
I'll get it straight. I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock. Fill out the financial affidavit. The clerk may say that you don't qualify. If they do, appeal it to the judge and let us look at it, okay?
Okay.
Just based on what you're saying, at $5,000 a month, I find that you qualify.
Okay.
$500 per week, I find that you qualify. I'll get it straight.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. John Midget?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Mr. Midget, come on up. 22 CF 2571. I think Mr. Midget was on pretrial to the state.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Mr. Midget.
Oh, yes. So this one's on me. This is, we were supposed to, the state was trying to reach out to Lowe's. That's on me that I hadn't yet. We're just trying to determine, because there was 2 generators that were the issue of restitution. If those generators were actually returned to Lowe's and there is no restitution, then our offer will be pretty different for both Mr. Midget and Ms. Midget. If we could, the state would request the state charge continuance for one more cycle, just to make sure that we can get that information, because it will likely be that if the generators were returned, we will offer something similar to a misdemeanor, which I think both the defendant and co-defendant would much rather have.
Ms. Midget, you want to come up too? And where is Miss Midget?
She's on my dock.
Oh, good, okay. Thanks, Mr. Clark.
And I can tell the court, my investigator has talked to Lowe's, and we've been trying to get proof of this getting returned also. So we'll go ahead and take the continuance on my end, because we have been trying already. But we would ask the court for one second.
So both of y'all, you agree to the continuance?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock. Okay?
Thank you.
Unless they dismiss the case or work out something.
Yeah, as always, if we can't get a plea in before today, we'll definitely make sure that we clear up about it.
Good.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Roosevelt Peterson is next. Roosevelt, Mr. Peterson. 23 CF 132. Come on up, Mr. Peterson. Does the state have an offer for Mr. Peterson?
I'm sorry, Judge, we have to pull, since we're paperless, we have to pull all these up now on stack.
You want the case number?
I got it. I have to find the offer sheet that's not working in there. I apologize for that delay, Your Honor. It would be a plea as charged. It would be an adjudication of guilt. I believe there are prior felonies, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It would be a withhold, Your Honor.
Okay.
And then 2 years of probation. Standard fines and court costs.
Mr. Peterson, have you ever been on probation before?
Wait, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm sorry. This is going to be a PTI.
Yeah,
if we can set this for 320, we will have a PTI by that date.
Okay. So I'll see you back here next week on the 20th at 9 o'clock. Okay. Thank you, sir. Richard Potter is next. Oh, Mr. Potter. Doing well. How are you?
Good as I can be.
Yes, sir. 22 CF 2694. Does the state have an offer for Mr. Potter?
Who is this, Your Honor?
Potter, P-O-T-T-E-R. It's driving while license suspended. Habitual second or subsequent.
I remember that offer that the state had originally given me. When I came the first time, the state was unaware that my license was suspended by the Department of Revenue falsely.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Just know that everything you say factually about your case can be used against you.
It's already been stated, Your Honor. I understand.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Did you not qualify for a public defender last time, Mr. Potter?
Didn't want one. didn't feel I needed one, Your Honor.
We can't really have any, we can't have contact, but it's a little bit challenging for us to get stuff with DHS. That's something that's generally handled on the defendant side to try to get their license kind of situated and figuring out what's happening. On this one, I would just keep our offer the same as what it was prior.
So are we going to trial on this? If the two of you can't agree on anything?
Well, what it was, Your Honor, he gave me time to get license eligible. And if I was able to get license eligible, he would give me significantly less time.
Yes, sir.
The only thing is on that, at the moment, I own a landscaping company. It's been an extremely hard season, slow season. My wife has had to go back to work after 4 years of being a stay-at-home mom to 5 kids. So if you would allow me to come back on May 8th, I would be able to set up a payment arrangement downstairs and possibly get some of that paid up to be license eligible by then.
You got it. May 8th, 9 o'clock.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge.
Sir. Harris Pryor, 23 CF 90. Mr. Pryor. Mr. Pryor, did you not qualify for a public defender previously, or did you not want one?
No, I'm getting private counsel. I'm
You're
supposed
getting-
to be meeting today, actually.
Okay. Okay, then I will see you back here on the 20th with your private attorney. If you don't have one then we'll be looking at going to trial, okay? So you need to bring it. 20th, 9 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Wait, Your Honor, are you saying
Please continue on prior.
plea or continue? Okay.
Yes, sir. But the 20th at 9. Taj Smith. Taj Anthony Smith, 22 CF 2468.
This has been a referral to PTI, so I'm not sure what happened with that.
He was here today, and we're going to ask him to go to the office and get signed with him.
Do we want to do plea continue?
That's fine, Judge.
Okay. Plea continue on Mr. Smith's case. Andre Williams.
Here, Your Honor.
Good, Mr. Williams, come on up. Thank you. 22 CF 172.
And Judge, as a friend of the court, I know Mr. Williams, and this is for some reason a violation of probation on Tony Raymond on pretrial. So I just wanted the court to be aware that this was a pretrial case.
Yes, sir.
And I believe that the state's going to make an offer that Mr. Williams is going to likely accept related to extension of his probation.
Okay. Yes, sir. To the state.
Judge, on this case, we would agree if he wanted to admit the violation of probation that we'd extend on count 1 as the felony count, we'd extend his supervision by 1 year for him to complete the outstanding requirements, and he would have to enroll in DUI school within the next 30 days.
Permission to speak, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Hold on. Let me understand exactly what they're offering. Withhold or an adjudication?
That's what I was double checking, Judge.
Okay. And early termination if he successfully completes it?
Yes, Judge. Yes, Judge.
Previously adjudicated? Okay. So, Mr. Williams, here's what I understand the offer is. You'd be waiving your right to an attorney, waiving your right to an evidentiary hearing where the state would have to prove the violation of probation against you. You'd be adjudicated guilty. Your current supervision would be modified. It would be extended for a year. However, if you successfully completed the terms of your supervision before the end of that year, then it would end then. You'd have to enter and successfully complete DUI school. There'd be a $100 cost to prosecute. So that's all that I know. Yes,
entering DUI school, he already had to do that as part of the prior plea agreement, but he would have to enroll within the next 30 days. Because that was one of the major things that the state took note that he had not done in his prior supervision.
So enroll within 30 days and successfully complete it before the end of probation?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Williams, if you want to accept that, you can do that. If you want me to appoint an attorney to represent you and you qualify financially, I'll do that.
Okay, I just want to address the court, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
The reason for me not being able to join or anything, I had a work-related injury back in July of last year, and I have 4 herniated discs in my spine, and I have not been able to work or anything since then, and that's the reason. I just wanted to give the court the reason why, and I have paperwork from my doctors and stuff showing that. I don't know what the fees were for the DUI school or class or whatever it is, but is there a way to work with the fines or anything, if there's any associated with it, or how does that work?
Mr. McKinney, any breaks on DUI school?
No, not for the cost of DUI school. Is there any cost of supervision?
I think so. You can waive the cost of supervision. Are you paying the cost of supervision?
Pardon me?
Are you paying the cost of supervision monthly?
Yes.
Judge, I know that the court does have discretion with cost of supervision. So if you could apply or waive any arrearages and cost of supervision in the future based on his representation, that would certainly help him out financially.
Right. So, no arrearage?
No, sir, we have it.
I'm sorry.
Just as the court.
Okay, thank you.
Related to DUI.
So, Mr. Williams, do you want to accept the state's offer?
Yes,
You
Your
want
Honor.
to- Okay. If you'll raise your right hand, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You can say it again. So, Mr. Williams, do you understand that if I accept your plea, that you have a right to an evidentiary hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Williams, I do accept your plea. You're adjudicated guilty of the violation of probation. Your current supervision is reinstated and extended for 1 year. However, if you successfully complete all the terms of your supervision prior to the expiration of that year, your supervision will automatically terminate. You also can't commit any new law violations prior to then. You'll need to enter the DUI school within 30 days from today and successfully complete it, and you'll need to pay the $100 cost of prosecution.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, probation, is it like a year from his original term date or a year from today?
From the original termination date. But it will automatically terminate if you successfully complete all your terms. Okay. Thank you. The last pro se that I have is Nelson Januga and Ariba or something close to that,
I
maybe.
can help you with that, Your Honor.
Please do. Today's
Nelson David Zúñiga Anariba.
perfect time.
Pase, por favor.
Have you been in the courtroom the whole time? No?
Was with Judge Mason also.
Oh, good.
Pase por aquí, por favor.
All right.
Zúñiga with a
With a
Z.
Z. 23 CF 113. Does the state have a, well, I'm sorry, first off, have you been under oath from the prior court? Are you still under oath?
No.
Proceed, please.
Teresa Iribarren.
She read after the translate from English to Spanish, and from Spanish to English, to manage brought from the court, so help that.
I do.
Does the state have an offer for?
Yes, Judge. It's an either-or offer, Judge. Either it'd be a withhold and court costs, or he can enter into the pretrial intervention program. The terms that I would ask would be the cost of prosecution, which would be $100, and 24 hours of community service work.
So what I understand is that if he entered the pretrial intervention program, if he paid the $100 cost of prosecution and performed 24 hours of community service work, then the case would be dismissed and there would be no adjudication at all, correct?
Yes, Judge. It'd be for a term of 6 months, just to be clear.
So we'd have 6 months, and would the pretrial automatically terminate upon him completing both of those things?
No, Judge, he'd have to typically do at least half of the time on the pretrial intervention before probation would terminate him from that.
So there are other provisions other than what you just stated during the pretrial?
It's the rules of pretrial intervention. He has to check in with him once a month. They have to verify that he's completed community service work. So that would take some more process if he wanted to go that route. Or it'd be a withhold and court cost, and the case would be over today.
And the court costs are how much is it?
$615, Judge.
So the two different options. A withhold of adjudication, which would mean you wouldn't be adjudicated guilty. Either one of these, you're not going to be adjudicated guilty. You could pay the court cost of $615, and I'd give you some number of months to pay that. If you failed to pay it within that time period, it would go, well, is it going to go to a civil lien?
That would be my expectation, Judge.
Then it will go to a civil lien, or you can be on pretrial intervention for 6 months and pay the $100 cost of prosecution and perform 24 hours of community service work. If you chose to do the pretrial intervention, I will continue your case where you can talk to pretrial about the terms of that.
And if I pay the $615, Your Honor, would my case conclude today?
Yes.
I would like to pay the amount.
If you'll raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand up. Do you understand that if I accept your plea that you're waiving your right to a trial by jury?
Yes.
I do accept your plea. Adjudication is withheld. You'll need to pay the $615 in court costs within 30 days from today, unless you need longer than that. Is 30 days sufficient?
I can pay it today, Your Honor.
I'll just say 30 days just to make sure that you have enough time. If you don't pay it within 30 days, then that amount of money will go to a civil lien, not criminal, but civil. You'll have to wait to pay the money until the clerk gets those minute sheets down to the clerk's office. You wait until tomorrow or this afternoon. So if you want to do it tomorrow, they should have the paperwork. Thank you, sir. Teresa, is that all you have, or do you have?
Unrepresented, yes.
Okay, want to do the ones that you have represented in the gallery?
Judge, may I approach with a score sheet?
Antonio Posada, Honduras.
Your Honor, this is Mr. Antonio Posada, Honduras. We are going to announce a plea trial on this case. I was just informing Mr. Posada, Honduras, to be back here next Monday, and I'm going to call him later this week.
So I will see you back here on the 20th at 9 o'clock, and we'll be looking at going to trial later this month.
El lunes próximo aquí a la mañana. Que se puede retirar.
Judge Jason McKinney on behalf of Mr. Zader Sarmiento Chacon. Mr. Sarmiento Chacon, 22 CF 2678.
So is Chacon his last name, or is
I'm taking a guess there, Judge.
Sarmiento.
Sarmiento?
S. Sarmiento under
With an
S.
S. Did I say Chacon? Is it Chacon? Chacon? Sarmiento Chacon. Judge, we're ready for trial in 22 CF 2678.
Okay, so I will see you back here on March 20th at 9 o'clock, and we'll be looking at going to trial at the end of the month. Stay in touch with Mr. McKinney, okay? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you on Monday.
Here I have one more, that's Kenner Moran Salguero.
Salguero. Moran Salguero Kenneth.
Not present. And so a capias will be issued for him, and the first appearance judge will determine the bond. Thank you, Teresa. Anything else you have?
I have inmates and I'll be back at 1:30.
Okay, we may be running late.
No problem, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, then the folks that are in the gallery or on Zoom, Mr. Clark?
First here, I have Darby Boudreau, who's in the middle.
Ms. Jacob, what do you have?
I just have a plea with Mr. Nesmith.
Okay,
Your Honor. So I just went out of the course.
okay, why don't we do it right after Mr. Klein's next case?
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Your Honor, Ms. Boudreau is on Zoom. I'm going to announce plea or trial on this. However, I do expect this is going to be a PTI reinstatement. We just need to get the paperwork from the state. So, Darby, I'm going to call you probably tomorrow or maybe Wednesday. But the intent from the state is to put you back on the PTI program so you can make those payments. But I got to get the paperwork. But just in the offhand chance that we can't put that together, we do need to move the case forward toward a disposition. So it's being announced plea or trial. I don't expect this to actually be a trial, though, unless you insist on it. So
I'll see you back here on March 20th next week at 9 o'clock. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Here, this is James Nesmith before the court, 22 CF 2693. And just for the court's information, he was actually already here. He was walking in as I was walking out.
Excellent.
And Your Honor, as he'll be pleading no contest as charged. Count 1 will be an adjudication and time served. Count 2 will be an adjudication and 2 years of probation. He will need to pay $615 in court costs, a $150 cost of defense, submit to a substance abuse evaluation within 30 days, begin any treatment if recommended within 60 days, submit to random urinalysis, complete 24 hours of community service work, and show proof of valid driver's license or eligibility. Your Honor, we are going to ask that the court waive the cost of supervision. The court may or may not remember Mr. Nesmith was going to appear on docket day last docket cycle to enter this plea. In between that short time between pretrial and docket day, he became homeless. His storage unit he got locked out of and lost all of his personal belongings. He's just really been in kind of a tight spot, and I'd really like him to be able to put that extra $40 towards getting his child support cleared up so we can get an active or a valid driver's license. If my day approach?
Yes, thank you. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. So, Mr. Nesmith, did you read the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign it?
Yes,
Mr. Nesmith, I do accept your plea. You're adjudicated guilty. The court does waive the cost of supervision. You're sentenced to time served on count 1, 2 years probation on count 2. You'll need to submit to a substance abuse evaluation within 30 days from today, beginning the treatment if it's recommended within, did I say 15? Did I say 30?
I thought you said 30, Your Honor.
You need to submit to a substance abuse evaluation within 15 days from today. If any treatment's recommended, begin that within 30 days from today.
30 and 60, Judge. It's supposed to be 30 and 60, unless the court's changing it.
let's do 15 and 30. That's
Okay.
a long time. So 15 and 30, you'll need to submit to random your analysis, perform 24 hours of community service work, show eligibility for a valid driver's license or obtain one. You'll need to pay the court cost, $150 public assistance fee. And again, I do waive the cost of supervision. Good luck to you, sir. Thank you.
And Mr. Stovall, did just see him. The court had issued a capias for him in 22 CF 2612. I would just ask the court to withdraw that capias.
Yes, ma'am.
And Your Honor, I'm going to ask to continue this. My son is having surgery, so I won't be available during the trial weeks this cycle, so I won't be able to set it. But I do expect that we'll be prepared to go forward to trial in the May 8th docket cycle.
Okay, so continue trial next time?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock. Stay in touch with your attorney. Thank you.
And Your Honor, with that, I really don't know. May I be excused?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next I have, Your Honor, will be
Brooke Davis, followed by Jerry Lawson.
Ms. Abdullah?
Yes, sir. We are ready.
Well, I wasn't going to ask if you're ready, but if you'll move to the back.
I'm sorry.
I hear y'all talking a lot, so if
I
you'll just,
apologize, Your
if
Honor.
both of y'all will just move to the back of the courtroom and talk, I'd appreciate it.
Your Honor, this is Ms. Davis. We have reached an agreement with the state to resolve this. At this time, Ms. Davis entered a no contest plea on count 1 to the lesser included offense of possession of paraphernalia, which is 893.147. She'll plea as charged on count 2, which is already paraphernalia. The agreed upon disposition and she'll be sentenced to time served, be assessed misdemeanor court costs, and $150 in public defender fees, and she would be adjudicated of those misdemeanors. May I approach?
Yes, sir. Ms. Davis, if you'll raise your right hand, you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Thank you, ma'am. You can put your hand down. Ms. Davis, did you read the plea agreement?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
Did you sign it?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Davis, I do accept your plea. You're adjudicated guilty of the misdemeanors. You're sentenced to credit for time served. You'll need to pay the misdemeanor court cost, $150 public assistance fee. How long will it take you to pay that $400? 60 days, if I give you that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you fail to pay it within 60 days, then it will go to a civil lien or judgment. Thank you, ma'am.
Next I have Jerry Lawson, followed by Johnny Lee.
Mr. Lawson is present and approaching, Your Honor. I'd like to leave Mr. Lawson on for plea or continue for next Monday. There's a possible chance we're going to resolve this with a plea. Case is not ready to be set for trial yet. We're still in the deposition process, but I don't want to just keep this 60 days down the road.
Mr. Lawson, I'll see you on the 20th next week at 9 o'clock.
9
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right. I'll talk to you this week.
Thank you.
Johnny Lee.
Johnny Lee. I don't see Mr. Lee. I'm going to pass him and see if he shows up.
Sure.
Okay.
I skipped over a couple of people. Is there Denzel Green? Green.
Denzel Green. Nope.
Pass Mr. Green.
Okay, yes, sir.
Isaiah Hazlett.
Mr. Hazlett is present and approaching.
Thank you.
And, Your Honor, we are going to announce plea or trial in this case. The state has made an amended offer to Mr. Hazlett. That amended offer would be to dismiss counts 1 and 3 for a plea to the lesser included offense of carrying a concealed weapon on count 2. And I talked about this with Ms. Sandler this morning, so Mr. Gomez, this is more for your benefit. So I'd run the plea by Ms. Sandler, and she confirmed the only thing we're really needing an answer on is whether or not the state would agree to withhold. I believe that Mr. Hazlett will go ahead and accept the offer. I don't know that for sure, but the case does need to be disposed of, and so we're announcing plea or trial.
Mr. Hazlett, I'll see you back here on the 20th at 9 o'clock. If it's not resolved then we'll be going to trial. Okay.
If
If I turn in that agreement I got today before then, do I still need to come the 20th?
You're on misdemeanors?
It would just be to one misdemeanor count. No, you would not.
Correct. You wouldn't need to.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'll get you in this one. Thank you.
Your Honor, I have Jeremy Lorman on Zoom.
Thank you.
Followed by Donald Lowe. Your Honor, there's Mr. Lormond on Zoom. I talked with him last week. We are going to announce plea or trial for Mr. Lormond here.
Okay. So is Mr. Lorman, he's going to be here physically on the 20th?
That's the intent, yes.
Okay. Mr. Lorman, I'll see you on March 20th at 9 o'clock here in the courtroom, okay?
Well, Your Honor, I'm still in the drug court program, and I don't have permission to leave the county, the parish here. I don't know how that's going to work.
Mr. Lorman, you're going to have to talk to that program because when we talked, you had indicated you were ready to go to trial, and at the very least, you'd have to be here in person for a trial. So why don't you and I talk tomorrow?
I said that I didn't want to take that plea.
Okay.
You know, it would seriously jeopardize a job that I have coming up. I'm getting a contract employment as an asset retrieval agent for Hometown Capital, and these charges popping up on my record could seriously jeopardize that contract. And, you know, the last time we spoke before this past week, he said that they were willing to drop the charges as long as the thing was paid.
Well, what I did.
The plaintiff was willing to cease pursuit of this case if as long as they were paid, and they were paid. They've been paid in full.
I understand that, Mr. Lorman. You also were arrested a year ago yesterday. The case does have to be disposed of. So if I have a situation where I have a client who's not willing to take the state's offer and...
Mr. Lorman, let me butt in. The rules of judicial administration say the court will take control of its docket and move the cases forward. When I was doing my homework, I marked your case because it's an older case, a 702 case. That was the number in 2022 so I was pushing for trial. I'm setting it for plea or trial. You need to be here on March 20th at 9 o'clock. If it's not resolved then we'll be going to trial at the end of this month or the first week of next month.
And Jeremy, just so you know, I mean, if we get some kind of a agreed upon disposition here sometime in the next couple of days, that's fine. I'm not doing this to put you in a bad spot. I'm just doing this simply because the case needs to move forward.
So the 20th at 9 o'clock. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Klein, who's next?
Donald Lowe. Followed by Stephen Lowe.
Your Honor, this is Donald Lowe. If we could pass Mr. Lowe, I think we're going to get a resolution here this morning. I just need to talk to the state real briefly. And so to keep things moving, I'll talk to him to Mr.
Mr. Lowe, I'll see you this afternoon sometime. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Stephen Lowe?
Stephen Lowe, Your Honor, this is Mr. Stephen Lowe. We don't have FDLE back from the lab yet. We would ask support for a one-sided continuance so we can get that.
Mr. Lowe, do you agree to the continuance?
Yes, sir.
I'll see you back here on May 8th at 9 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Adela, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Milton Abdullah, on behalf of Albert Vasquez Cervantes, 2022 CF00419. The state has made an offer. Defendant has accepted the plea. Thank you. Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So it only counts 3 and, oh, I'm sorry, okay, so,
There are 4 counts. The state offered to drop 2 counts, and it was on the initial information, counts 1 and 2, and those are counts 3 and 4, and the state is going to null cross counts 3 and 4.
no cross 1 and 2?
I'm sorry, 1 and 2. It depends on the order.
Yes, Your Honor. Count 1 is possession of firearm. State announced dismissal of that. Count 2 is using computer to facilitate or solicit sexual conduct. State would announce the dismissal of that. In exchange for those dismissals, you would plead to count 3, which is traveling to meet a minor, and count 4, which is unlawful use of a two-way communication device.
Thank you. You'll please raise your right hand, Mr. Essex. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth.
Thank you, sir. You can put your hand down. So, did you read the plea agreement? Can you read English?
Yes.
Okay. Did you read it?
Yes, we have been over it thoroughly, Your Honor, in detail.
Well, but I need to hear it from him.
Yes, we've been going through it.
Do you understand it?
Yes.
Did you sign it?
Yes, I signed it.
Do you have any questions for the court or your attorney or the state? It's my understanding that you'll be sentenced to 11 months, 29 days in jail, followed by another 11 months, 29 days. Basically, you'll be in jail for 2 years. Do you understand that?
Yes, I understand that.
Okay. Got any questions for me or your attorney or the state?
Not at this moment.
Okay. I do accept your plea. The adjudication is what? Is adjudicated guilty?
Yes.
Okay. You're adjudicated guilty. You're sentenced to, on count 3, 11 months, 29 days, Okloosa County Jail, followed by 5 years of sex offender probation. On count 4, sentenced to 11 months, 29 days consecutive in Okloosa County Jail. You get credit for all time served on both of those sentences, okay?
It should state on there, Your Honor, 5 days credit for time served.
Okay, 5 days credit for time served. You also need to pay the court costs. How long will you need to pay those after you get out of jail?
I'm not sure because I gotta see where the works is gonna be working at because I work in construction and basically the time we traveling. But as soon as I'm be working, as soon as possible, I'll be paying them back.
Okay, so if you fail to pay the court costs within 6 months after you get out of jail, then they'll go to a civil lien or judgment. Okay?
Your Honor, will we have the entire time of sex offender probation to pay those?
I'm sorry, have any what?
Did he get sex offender probation?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Will he have the entire time to pay those costs?
That's a great point. Thank you, probation. Thanks for bailing me out of that. Yes, so you'll have that entire time of your probation to pay the court costs. Also, there's $40 per month cost of supervision that you'll have to pay. Okay.
So,
Your Honor, on the probation, Mr. Vasquez works for a company that works in different areas, and he was wondering at the time when he gets out if he could apply for the Interstate Commission to do sex offender probation in another state.
You can certainly talk to probation about...
I explained that to him, but I just wanted to bring it to the court's attention.
I have no objection to that, but just talk to probation before you leave, okay?
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And Your Honor, I believe there are additional terms perhaps on the second page.
It is information written down there about...
Okay, all firearms that were seized are forfeited. You'll have no contact with any minors. You'll need to wear a GPS monitor. You are designated as a sexual offender. And you'll need to fulfill all those sexual offender requirements. And then we talked about the court costs, and then a $151 fine for crimes against minors.
Is there also a GPS device on there?
Yes, I put GPS in it.
Yes, ma'am, and I stated that. GPS monitor. If you wish to appeal my sentence, You need to do it within 30 days. It must be in writing. If you can't afford an attorney to represent you for that appeal, one may be appointed for you. You understand your appellate rights.
Can you say that again?
Yes, sir. If you say tomorrow, I didn't agree to do this, or I didn't want to do this, or the judge did something wrong, you can file for an appeal and say, I want to tear up this paperwork, and then the appellate court would have to determine if you have the right to do that. I just say that to you because we added a few things at the end of this, and I just want you to know that you have 30 days to file an appeal if you say, I really didn't want to do that. But I'm accepting your plea the way it is. I just want you to know your appellate rights. Okay? And Ms. Abdullah can tell you a little more on that and expound on it with you, okay? Okay, thank you. Probation, it's just on count 3?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor, that's the second degree felony.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am.
And the state will submit a sex offender order if I can also purchase the score sheet.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, both on Zoom and in the gallery, we've got to take a lunch break. So we'll break from now until 1:30, and then we'll come back and finish up the morning.
Your Honor, would the court give us permission to talk to these individuals and waive their appearance in the afternoon? Okay.
Hey, listen.
Maybe I can let you in on a little secret. Did you know we're open on Sundays? Yeah, since February, probably one of the best kept secrets in Crestview, we're open on Sundays from 10 until 3 p.m.